Ladies and gentlemen, hockey fans across Canada, the U.S., China, and around the globe, welcome to CWHL Live. I'm Nico Cardarelli, joined up here in our booth by Ben Smith. You're watching CWHL Live, empowered by Hilberg and Burke, empowering young women and women all over. We've got a great contest on tap tonight as the Canadiennes de Montréal gets set to take on the Markham Thunder. And you'll notice tonight the Sparkle Ball earrings being sported by CWHL players. Make sure you check out Hilberg and Burke online if you want to get yourself a pair of those spectacular Sparkle Ball earrings. And there we get a look at that great piece of jewelry presented by Hilberg and Burke. Well, as mentioned, I'm Nico Cardarelli, joined up here in the booth by Ben Smith. And Ben, we should have quite the game on tap tonight as the Canadiennes de Montréal, through 7 games this season, you have to think they're fairly happy with the results so far. And the Markham Thunder, coming back from a long road trip in China, looking to get back on the right side of the standings.
Yeah, and it's been a long time since Markham has last played here from the Thornhill Community Center. Montreal comes into this weekend for the first time in a long time playing 2 separate teams. They were on the road today from Montreal, a long bus ride. They play Markham tonight, go to the hotel in Etobicoke, and then they play Toronto tomorrow. A very well-rested Toronto team, I should add. So if I'm Markham, I want to come out here guns a-blazing tonight. And if I'm Toronto, I especially hope Markham does that. Make Les Canadiennes a little tired as they head into the game tomorrow. So for the Montreal Les Canadiennes, it's all about conserving a bit of energy while still playing with that intensity that we've seen from them this season.
Well, and you mentioned that it's a busy weekend for Montreal as they'll play Toronto tomorrow. I was curious to see who'd get the start for the goaltenders in this one for the Canadiennes, and they've decided to go with Emerence Mashmeyer. Maybe not a surprise. She is the number 1, but with back-to-back games, I was curious maybe Catherine Heron would draw in the crease for tonight, but no, it will be Mashmeyer who gets the start for Montreal. And at the other end of the ice, the always reliable Erica Howe back between the pipes.
Yeah, absolutely. 7 games played, 2 wins and 4 losses on the season, but you may look and notice Montreal's jersey and see a C on a certain individual's jersey. Ann-Sophie on November 28th being told that she has won the captaincy of the squad. The 4th player to do it behind Lisa Marie Breton-Labure, Cathy Chartrand, and Marie-Philippe Poulin. So she joins a pretty elite group of players to hold the captaincy of Les Canadiennes de Montréal. And nonetheless, she told Jared Book of Habs Eyes on the Prize that she's only looking for the C in Les Canadiennes, and nothing changes for her, and that's a testament to her character, absolutely. And a veteran of the squad, I think it was a phenomenal choice by the team.
Yeah, I don't think there was much question. If you look in terms of players on that squad to take over as captain, very appropriate, the choice of Ann-Sophie Boutet, of course, a former MVP here in the CWHL, and really the clear-cut choice to be the captain of Les Canadiennes. So we do want to congratulate her. And of course, we want to present to you some numbers brought to you by MNP. We talk about Les Canadiennes who've got a hot stick so far. Well, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the ageless Noemi Morin, who's put up 4 points over her last 2 games, including 3 goals. So we'll keep an eye out for her, number 10 for Montreal tonight. On the flip side, well, Markham, they were shut out in their last game, but they've got a number of offensively gifted players, including, of course, number 26, Jamie Lee Rattray, who you had a chance to catch up with today.
Yeah, we did, and you'll see that interview happen during the first intermission. It is You Can Play night here from the Thornhill Community Center, the CWHL, of course, being the first league to have partnered with the You Can Play project back in 2012, and the relationship and the partnership has just flourished over the years, and you hear the players talk about, especially Jamie Lee Rattray, who you'll hear from again in the first intermission, the importance of the CWHL, a league committed to building dreams, building leaders, and the importance and kind of the crossroads between the two and how they're very connected. She also talks a bit about how sport is a phenomenal tool to have these conversations and break down walls to help heal a world that kind of needs it at this time. But sport's a phenomenal vehicle, of course, and you'll see that during the first intermission tonight.
We look forward to that interview, and we look forward to a tremendous game as the starting lineup for the Thunder currently being announced. Of course, as Ben just alluded to, this is the You Can Play game here tonight, and a tremendous initiative and partner of the CWHL. We welcome all of you tuning in to tonight's broadcast. Well, we'll throw it down in just a quick moment for the anthems at ice level. But before we do, we want to remind you to connect with us throughout the broadcast on social media. You can connect with the CWHL online by following at the CWHL on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to join the discussion. Of course, you can also tweet at Ben and myself, and we'll get to a few of your tweets throughout the game. Let us know where you're tuning in from and who you're cheering on, and we'll get to a few shout-outs throughout the broadcast. Well, with this being the You Can Play game, we're going to have a bit of a pre-game ceremony here, and a tremendous cause that touches near and dear to many of these players here in the CWHL. So we'll get you set for that pre-game ceremonial face-off. It's the Markham Thunder and Les Canadiennes de Montréal. You're watching on CWHL Live. The Thunder coming into this one in 5th place in the league standings right now. 8 points through 12 games. And we mentioned they just came off that long road trip in China. And we should mention that because of that road trip, they had to endure a couple of injuries. So out of the lineup tonight are Jenna McParland and some previous injuries to Alexis Woloschuk and Nicole Costa. Will keep them out of the lineup as well. Ellie Seedhouse draws in tonight for Markham. So Jamie Lee Rattray and the newly promoted captain Ann-Sophie take the ceremonial face-off, and we will throw it down to ice level for the singing of O Canada. It's the Markham Thunder, it's Les Canadiennes de Montréal, and we're getting you set for CWHL Live. Puck drop coming up next. As the teams get set to take the ice here, have a look down to our left at the Canadian bench, and nice to see Danny Brunet back behind the bench again for Montreal. He is a leader behind that bench there, and he keeps that team composed and always ready to compete. And down here to our right, the Markham Thunder coaching staff set to shake the hands of the officials. Markham donning their predominantly green jerseys tonight, a little bit of white and black trim. They'll skate from right to left. And the Canadiennes, they wear that habitant white and blue and red, predominantly white jersey with the blue and red trim. And they'll skate from left to right across your screen. It's Noemi Morin, it's Kristen Richards, it's the opening face-off. You're watching CWHL Live. We're underway as the Canadiens take early puck possession. And Sophie Bataille lets the shot fly, and that goes wide of the net. Bouncing puck down behind the Thunder goal. It's corralled by Richards. Backhands that one forward, and now it's on the stick of Rattray. She'll lift that one into the zone down to our left. And Desrochers first on it here for Montreal. She has her pocket pick, centered out front. And Maschmeyer had to do well to get a stick on that one. Montreal coming back in transition through the neutral zone. Amard got tripped up. No call. Play continues on. Rattray under pressure tries to feather it through. Nothing doing. So here comes Montreal back the other way, led by Katia Clement-Hedra. She'll dump that one in. Giving chase now for Markham. Skeets picks it up, drops it to Seedhouse. Seedhouse will flip that one in, and Skeets gives chase. Chartrand in there as well for Montreal. Nothing doing at first. Wraparound chance. Maschmeyer had to stay big down low, and she keeps the pads shut, making her first save of the game.
Last time these two squads played, it was a 3-2 loss for the Markham Thunder in overtime, and it's been Montreal taking the two games in that weekend, 1-0 respectively and 3-2. So close games for sure, and we just saw it there. Nice back and forth action between the two squads, but for sure it'll be a close one tonight if history proves any lessons.
It's funny, I was talking to assistant coach Stone before the game with the Thunder. As that centering pass gets picked off, Markham applying some pressure, and he was expecting a very tightly contested game, maybe a bit of a goaltending matchup, but he certainly expected the chances to be few and far between as Urban got that shot away, but it's turned aside by Maschmeyer.
Yeah, a nice job by Emirates Maschmeyer to get one there. 4 games, like we said before, 3 games, 1 loss, a 172 goals against average and a 935 save percentage. So pretty good. If I'm Montreal's defense, I'm feeling pretty good about my goaltending. Like you just said a moment ago, it will for sure be a battle of the two tendies between the pipes tonight.
Well, it's interesting with Montreal, of course, their stalwart goaltender, Charlie Labonte, retiring at the beginning of this year, and before she announced her retirement, Montreal made the acquisition of Maschmeyer, and she's really provided that kind of next in line. She's certainly provided a solid presence between the pipes, but you can almost sense that she is the next great goaltender for this franchise, and she's played well so far this year, as you alluded to with those numbers. Beaulieu, she'll dump that puck in, and out of her net, Erica Howe, one of the top goaltenders in the C-Dub, she comes out to play that. Becca King, she gets tripped up across center ice. A couple of bodies hit the floor, but play continues on as Bataille took a bit of a cross check in front of her own bench. No call there. Centering pass, that's broken up. It was intended for Morin, but Kristen Barbara did a good job to break that one up. Morin on the forward check, pins her player up against the boards. It's flipped to the far side where Poudrier keeps it in at the line. Her shot off a couple bodies. Bataille sweeps it towards the net. It's still loose in the slot. Urban gets it, banks it off the boards, and past Desrochers down the ice. Well, Montreal will set up here. Bouncing puck, nearly turned over in front of the net. Centered out front. Richards has it on her backhand, shields it. McIntosh, good hockey IQ, steps around a couple of players. Nice job by McIntosh. Gets it to Rattray. That centering pass, too hot to handle. McIntosh corrals it again for Markham. Plays it near side to Barbara. She tries to feather it through the middle. Nothing doing. And here comes Emmanuel Blais back the other way for Montreal. Blais intended for pair-off. That's get picked off by Simmons. And the teams battle for possession around center ice. Pair-off scoops it up here for the Canadiennes. She's at the far side, hash marks. Feathers it right on, and Howe makes easy work out of that one. Give another save to Erica Howe.
Yeah, Markham caught on a change there. Montreal able to walk in, but Howe on the other side doesn't have bad numbers either. 7 games played, 2 wins, 4 losses, but a 223 goals against average, 935 save percentage. And Markham, like we said, just able to kind of walk in. Not a whole lot of pressure. Markham was caught in a change, but gets a shot off either way.
Off the ensuing draw, the Thunder able to get the puck out to center ice before they lose possession. Brohl, she tries the long stretch pass. They hit Totino. Kayla Totino tries to feather it back in front. Nothing doing there as Clement Hedra had her stick tied up. Totino, of course, with Boston last year, on Montreal this year, a former top pick in the draft, and she's made herself a nice home on this Le Canadienne roster. She's had a great season so far, putting up 6 points in 7 games played. Chartrand, she picks up that puck. Ooh, that one's spicy as it jumps into the bench. No one hit with that puck, so that's good to see, and we'll have the face-off coming just outside Montreal's blue line.
Tried for an icing there, but just deflected. I looked like I almost got inside the coach there for a second, but good ducking skills on the Markham bench either way.
Nicole Brown, she tries to step around the defender, Beaulieu, and just nearly had it poked away from her. Otherwise, she would have been one-on-one with the Tendy. Montreal bank it off the boards, held in at the blue line. Nice job there. Stepping up was Jessica Hartwick. Play continues on as they battle for possession along the near boards. Megan DeLay holds the blue line. Markham playing aggressive there to keep that puck in. Ronsberg has it tipped away from her. Fielding Montgomery back in the lineup with Markham. Good to see as she had a bit of an early season injury, but she is back to 100%, and they're going to need her out there tonight. As Montreal lift that one so high, it's in the roof, and that puck never came down.
Oh, it's still stuck there. I think it's stuck in the little wrap there to keep the ice cold above. But a good job by DeLay to hold the line there. Rosberg tried to get a little bit of action going. The shot just went a bit wide, but good on the Markham Thunder to hold the line and create a bit of havoc inside the Montreal zone.
I'm curious if this is going to be like that old tabletop hockey game where the puck would drop down from the roof.
What I was saying.
I got to think at some point, yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that as Montreal breaks out of their own zone here after that defensive zone faceoff.
I wonder what protocol is. I would imagine you'd have to blow the whistle and
I would think so,
dead,
yeah. 2 pucks on the ice, I think they'd probably blow it dead as Montreal couldn't quite connect there. Bate was trying to get together with Marin, and they just missed on the pass. Marin has the puck on her stick now in the near corner, plays it back to the line for Desrochers. Cross ice, there's the shot, tipped wide of the goal as Barbara doing a good job there defensively for Markham. Near side boards, Jamie Lee Rattray can't win that foot race. DeRoche, oh, great job to keep it in, tease it up, bouncing puck just goes wide as Barbara got a block on that shot from the point. Well, DeRoche really showing her skill on the blue line right now, but Markham under pressure will lift that one off the boards and out to center ice. Not quite deep enough, it's quickly back in the Thunder zone. Poudrier scoops it up, tries to hit Totino. She has her pocket picked, and here comes Richards for Markham. Gets the puck over to Rattray. Rattray tries to dance around Desrochers, gets the shot off, but it's off the side of the goal, and Mashmere may have gotten a piece of that as well. Poudrier has her pocket picked by Skeets on the forecheck, tries to feather in front for Urban. She somehow directs it on goal, but Mashmeyer more than ready for that save.
Absolutely, and a good job there as well. Just a couple of plays ago by Melanie DeRose. She's able to kind of deke her man out for a nice center slot shot inside the Markham zone just a few minutes ago. But on that play, just a second later, and Markham would have had a third forward to deal with to come in and alleviate that pressure in front of the net and crash the net, unfortunately for them. But good news for Montreal. Emirates Mashmeyer, like you said, able to cover that puck up fast and efficiently, which is kind of what she does.
Yeah, that certainly sums up her game. She is an efficient goaltender. She really doesn't give up many secondary chances, so you want to capitalize should she give up a rebound. But she's just so positionally sound. Rarely do you even get her in a spot to give up a juicy rebound. So we'll keep an eye on that as it really is a test of the goaltenders here tonight. Fujimoto does a good job defensively there for Montreal, the Japanese national player who's earned herself a good spot on the blue line. Noseworthy breaks in, bouncing puck, just couldn't corral it cleanly. Unlucky there for Montreal. Fujimoto keeps it in the zone as Grigg tries to bank it back out, and Grigg looks like she ensued a bit of a knock there to her right hand, so an already bit of a shallow blue line for Markham. We'll keep an eye on Lindsay Grigg. Deschênes gives chase for Montreal. She can't get to that loose puck. It's going to be Hartwick back the other way for Markham. Hartwick feathers that one in on goal. Easy work from Ashmeyer. Puck around to the near corner where Deschênes tries to play it off the line and out. Now it's out to center ice. Rebecca King has it. Well, we can see some of the players out there with the rainbow tape on their sticks, and of course that an homage to the You Can Play game here tonight and all the great work that organization does. On one of the players with rainbow tape on their sticks, Tracy Ann Levine, she's going to the box here, body checking the call, so we'll have our first power play opportunity of the game, and it'll be for the Markham Thunder.
Markham on the power play has third in the league, 23.5%. 17 power plays, 4 goals on the season. It'll be interesting. Good job to draw the penalty. And looked like it could have almost been from behind there into the boards, but not quite severe enough. And nonetheless, Montreal will just get the 2-minute body check instead of the full misconduct and what have you.
So we'll see if Markham can capitalize. One of the things Assistant Coach Stone mentioned to me before the game is special teams. It'll often be the difference maker in a game, and I think Markham just looking to sharpen the special team play just a little bit. We'll see if they can capitalize here with the early advantage. We've played just under 8 minutes here, just over 8 minutes in this first period, as the Markham Thunder and Le Canadiennes Montréal are all squared up at 0. Jamie Lee Rattray brings the puck in, far side corner where Richards digs after it. Clement Hadra tries to pin it up against the boards. The Markham players dig it out for the time being, and now Rattray gets it back to the point for McIntosh. McIntosh setting it up, quarterbacking this power play. Gives it to Rattray. Rattray checked closely. She'll play it down to the corner for Richards. Good job by Rattray to give some support. Grigg back out there. Good to see after she took a bit of a knock moments ago. Makes the pass to Rattray. Down low. McIntosh looking for Woods. Can't feed it through. Back to the point for Grigg. Back to McIntosh. Spins away from the check. Thinks about dropping it. Keeps it on her stick. Endures a bit of a hook there. Centered out front. No one there to get a touch. Now Grigg lets the shot fly, and that's turned away. Markham with good puck possession. Finally getting some shots on goal here. They get the puck back to Woods. Woods through traffic. That one didn't miss by much. Richards has her stick tied up by Poudrier, and now Montreal successfully cleared down the ice with just 10 seconds remaining on the power play. So Ben, some good puck possession from Markham, but ultimately not enough creativity there with the advantage.
Not enough, and a good job by Montreal as well to be all over Markham in that power play, but like you said, just not enough creativity. We'll see what happens. Still early goings.
Absolutely. First power play of the game done and dusted. 0 for 1 are the Thunder, but I'm sure they'll look to capitalize on their next one as Seedhouse ends up losing her footing and can't capitalize on the odd man rush. Skeets dumps that one in. Barret first back on it for Montreal. She's checked closely, and a good job by the forecheckers of Markham to cause the turnover. Seedhouse centers in front, bodies crashing all over. Urban can't get it cleanly. Now Seedhouse feeds that one in front, and it's turned away, and here come Le Canadiennes in transition. Desrochers, she's in there all alone, no support. She's checking to see who's with her, but running out of time and space. Barbara strips the puck away from her. Markham led out here by Dania Simmons. She makes the pass intended for Seedhouse, but that skipped over her stick. Here comes Totino back the other way. Tees that one up, and that one goes wide on the near side. Back to the point. Beaulieu, she fires it, and a good blocker save by Howe, deflecting it up and out of play. The face-off to stay inside Markham's territory.
Yeah, it'll stay inside. And Desrochers, again, another good job. She's all alone in the zone. Montreal's on a bit of a change, and she just takes that extra second to skate around with the puck, allow her team to enter into the zone and get set up, and then they're able to capitalize and create a bit of havoc.
Grigg corrals the puck off the draw from Markham. Taylor Woods skates around Noemi Morin, and now Woods tries to feed it through to Montgomery. Just out of her reach, Mashmeyer comes out of her net to leave it for Bro. Montreal trying to break out of their zone. They get it to Noemi Morin, but a little bit behind her, so Beaulieu will have to start again here for Les Canadiennes. Amard turns it over to Woods. She'll flip that one into the zone where it's knocked down by the vet Amard. Nice job as she feeds that one over to Ann-Sophie Bate. Bate tees it up, and that one didn't miss by much. She's starting to get that nose for the net here, Ann-Sophie Bate. Now Markham at the end of a long shift will just dump it in and get some fresh legs out on the ice. That's the top unit from both teams out there right now. Alemo, she picks it up just offside, and that'll put an end to the rush for Les Canadiennes. But what a great story. Marion Alemo is playing with Les Canadiennes this year, of course, a member of France's national team. She's really fit in nicely this season with Les Canadiennes.
Yeah, absolutely. She has kind of fitting too. Montreal, of course, a very French and the French stuff. But even look at, we were talking before, speaking of national teams and China.
Yes.
And you're going to see some replays during the first intermission from, the Montreal and Toronto's trip to China.
And we'll get back to that in a moment as McIntosh in all alone on the breakaway. She shoots, she scores! Laura McIntosh and the Markham Thunder out to a 1-0 lead.
Second goal of the season, and a fantastic job. Just gets you through the fiber there on Emirates Marshmeyer, but fantastic start for the Markham Thunder. Able to see through traffic and just skates like it's easy goings, but like we were saying before, speaking of goals rather, Markham's trip to China, what a phenomenal experience for Markham.
Yeah.
And a fantastic job by China too to really draw those fans out, and we'll speak about this during the first intermission probably, but China's national team is really going to be a contender during the Olympics. You look at the skill of Digit Murphy, 3 hours a day on the ice for those two teams in the CWHL, so we look like there's something happening on the bench now in Markham's territory.
Yeah, Montreal was trying to get a late change there. They wanted Fujimoto off the ice. The officials are telling her, no, you have to come out for the face-off. So Poudriere will have to wait at least a moment before that change can happen. But Markham staked themselves out to a 1-0 lead here on a breakaway goal from Laura McIntosh, her second goal of the season for the Thunder. Back the other way come the Thunder. Once again, shot right on Mashmeyer with a good glove save there. She'll hold that for the face-off.
And like you just heard, Jamie Lee Rattray getting the assist, her fourth assist of the season. She's got 11 points this year and has been incredibly dominant for the Markham Thunder, but she's able to see through traffic up to McIntosh, who's able to tap it home and give Markham the 1-0 lead.
Bouncing puck in front of Montreal's net. It's adjudged to have been played by a hand pass, so we'll have a stoppage, and the face-off will come outside the blue line. Well, Ben, you mentioned Markham's trip to China. I had a chance to catch up with a good buddy of mine and the equipment manager for the Markham Thunder, Brent Graham, and he talked a little bit about that experience, and he just said it was really quite an amazing trip. The one thing he did mention was that they were just starting to get their body clocks back to normal as Simmons drove that one in on goal. It's snatched by the glove hand of Mashmeyer. So it'll be interesting to see as this game gets into the later stages if fatigue, if body clock starts to become a bit of a factor for Markham.
Yeah, and it's a 16-hour flight and a pretty big time difference for sure. They were there for 8 days. Yep. And speaking with Jamie Lee Rattray before the game, she says it's a long flight, but it's a lot funner and it's a lot better of a flight when you're with your teammates. And that's just the story of it, right? Fantastic trip. And for the league as well in terms of growing the game.
Absolutely. And, of course, you mentioned China looking to be competitive when Beijing hosts the Winter Olympics. I have no doubt in my mind, from what we've seen so far from Kunlun Red Star and the Vanke Rays, if that's a taste of what's to come, they're going to be a medal contender at those Olympics.
Well, and Coach Digit Murphy, like I said before, has them on the ice at least 3 hours a day most times, and she's building that team, that program to win. And I have no doubts, like you said, that they're going to be a phenomenal contender during the 2018 Winter Olympic Games.
Noemi Morin nearly had her pocket pick there from the ensuing forecheck of Melissa Ronsberg, and now Rattray causes a turnover. Jamie Lee Rattray at the far side, hash marks. She endures a check there against the boards from Morin. No call. Play continues on, and now Howe well out of her net to take that away from DesRochers. Nice job by Hartwick to get around one hit. Now Rattray tries to feather it back. It's at the point. Delays shot. That one tipped wide by the stick of Mashmeyer. So Markham's starting to show some offensive prowess here after that early goal, looking to double up as Montreal play that puck out of midair. It's Alamo who brings it over to Levine. Levine lets that shot fly off a shin pad wide of the goal. Alamo, she's tied up against the end boards for the time being. Centers out front. Chartrand gets the puck. Her shot blocked by Rattray, but that one smirks. Rattray certainly in some discomfort there after blocking that shot, and we'll keep an eye on her if she can stay in this game. Emmanuelle Blaise, she's tied up in the far corner as Barbara and company in there for Markham, and with the puck pinned up against the boards, they're going to whistle it dead. And of course, as any scrum happens in hockey, you always get a little pushing and shoving after the whistle.
Just a little bit. And you know there's something going on when the referee's skating it, or the linesmen are skating in at about an 8, and they quickly speed up to about a 12. And the whistle's going. So, something's happening. But like you said before, Markham's just getting their bodies back to local time. Montreal has 2 games this weekend against a very well-rested Toronto team, so they're going to need to be, conserving energy both ways. And most times in those games, it's a battle between the goaltenders. And we just saw a phenomenal example of Howe coming out of her net to play the puck.
Yeah, really heads-up play by Howe. She's such a strong skater and a great puck handler. There's no hesitation by her to get involved in the play and help out the defense if she can. Carolina Urban was dumped there on that sequence. Nothing doing. Here comes Chartrand back the other way from Montreal. Her shot turned away by the right pad of Howe. Lafort keeps the puck in at the blue line. Great play there by Sarah Lafort. She lets the shot fly, and that one off a body stays high and in play. It's along the far side boards. Simmons kicks it over. Now it's far side. Sorry, it was near side. Lafort digs it out, and that's turned over as Seedhouse plays that one out to center ice. Barrette picks it up now for Montreal. She makes the pass intended for Lafort. That's picked off by Ronsberg. And a potential 3-on-2 for Markham. Pass to King. Shot right on. Big rebound, but Mashmeyer makes the save. Here comes Montreal back the other way. Lafort gets around one. She's got Totino heading to the net. Tries to feather it in front, but it's broken up. Puck played, kept in at the line by Beaulieu. She plays it near side to Barrette. Her shot with traffic in front, bouncing and rolls just wide of the far post, but Erica Howe dives over and gets her glove on that one.
Yet another example of Erica Howe, like we said before, being aggressive to get her hand right on top of that puck. And it was a good job by Montreal, too. I believe it was Natalie Barrette right on the blue line. I'm a firm believer games are won and lost on the blue line, on the rivers, as we like to call them. And a good job to hold the line, get a shot off, and create a bit of havoc in front of that net for Erica Howe to have to jump on that puck. As it comes to her blocker side.
And this face off to the right of Howe, won by Montreal, and Jamie Lee Rattray is going to be heading to the sin bin as she dumps the captain, Bate, so it'll be Montreal with their first power play opportunity of the game here with 3:55 to play in the first.
Yeah, and she had a smile on her face, almost like she knew she was going either way. So a hook for Jamie Lee Rattray. Montreal 4th in the league on the power play. 23 power plays this season, 5 goals on it, a 21-7 power play percentage. And Markham's PK is ranked 7th in the league at 61-1. 18 penalty kills and 7 goals against.
A little bit deceiving, though, that 7th ranked penalty kill.
Yeah.
You know, they went so long in the season without giving up a power play goal, and then that road trip to China, they ended up getting a little undisciplined at times, and the Chinese teams capitalized. So it's a little bit out of whack, and Markham will try to get back on the right side of that penalty kill figure as that shot from the point drives wide of the net. Montreal moving around. Chartrand has it at the point. Plays it near side to Clement Hedra. They switch spots. Clement Hedra tries to feed it through. It's blocked by Richards, and Seedhouse and Richards do a good job to see that puck up the ice. Kristen Richards favoring her right wrist, right hand just a little bit after blocking that shot, so we'll keep an eye on her. Urban tries to corral the puck. She can't. Poudrier keeps it in. Lafort back to Poudrier, now back to Lafort. 55 seconds remaining here on the Montreal power play. 2:45 left in the period. Markham have a 1-0 lead. Emard, she dumps it off to Lafort. Lafort tries to feed it through, intended for Alamos, but nothing doing that time. Lafort scoops it up. Back to the point now, kept in by Poudrier. She's got to make it over to Alamos, gets it to her, plays it down low. They tried to feed it back out to Alamos, but she was dumped at the high slot, and play continues on with 25 seconds left here on the Montreal power play. The Canadian a little lackadaisical that time. They give the puck away, and Markham clear it down the ice. Just 10 seconds remaining in the power play for Les Canadiennes, so Markham will try hold on here. Looks like they'll kill it off as Bro will dump that one in. $1:55 left in the period. We're back to 5-a-side hockey here, so neither team able to capitalize on their first power play opportunities. There's a turnover. McIntosh feeds it over to Richards. Richards tries to get it to Rattray, but the diving Chartrand broke that up. Rattray dumps it into the near corner where Richards, great to see her back out there after taking a puck off the wrist. Simmons tees it up. Quick as lightning, that glove hand from Maschmeyer snags it out of midair.
And Simmons just walking in for the nice big shot there, but like we said, Emmett Maschmeyer right on top of that. Gloves it down for the whistle. It'll be to her blocker side, but even play here back and forth. Like, I mean, the scores over the past couple of months have been indicative of the two teams in terms of the closeness of the previous games, and no doubt that's what we're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, I think these two teams really match up well against each other. I think there's a lot of parallels between these teams. So it's really not too much of a surprise to see the games thus far being so closely contended. There's a rare turnover. Totino looks to capitalize. She can't initially. Montreal still have the puck in the zone. Great job by Chartrand to keep it in. Her shot, big rebound, second chance, and Howe shuts the door. Well, best chance there for Montreal. They got the initial shot from Totino, and then Lafort follows up on the rebound, but Erica Howe, solid as always.
Absolutely, and Erica Howe knew she had to get over to the other side of the net very quickly. Sarah Lafort, if she was just a second sooner, would have had a wide open net, and that's the job of the goalie to save the first shot, and after that it's your defenseman's job to save the second and the follow-up shots. And like we said, Lafort just had a wide open net, but Erica Howe able to get over to the other end quite quickly.
So as we're inside the final 60 seconds of this opening period, Les Canadiennes are chasing after the tying goal as they trail 1-0 here. Emard, she's pinned up against the boards in front of the Markham bench, and then that puck lifted up and out of play. Emard and King collide together directly below us, but the referee's quick to separate those two.
Absolutely, and like we said during this first intermission, Jamie Lee Rattray, phenomenal interview coming up for all you fine folks at home for the You Can Play Foundation. And I believe we'll also be speaking to Laura McIntosh.
So make sure you stay tuned during the intermission as Ben will catch up with Laura McIntosh. And as we mentioned, prior to the game, he had a chance to talk with the fantastically talented Jamie Lee Rattray. Of course, Rattray assisting on the opening goal from McIntosh. Here comes Richards, brings it across the blue line. Kristen Richards, shot right on, rebound! Oh, quick whistle there for Maschmeyer. She gets a little lucky with the quick whistle, and Markham get a good chance away with just 5.6 seconds left in the period.
Yeah, and the referee was on the advantage point, and she couldn't see the puck. It was a bit kind of dwibbling in front of the net there. Maschmeyer wasn't able to fully have possession of it to stop it, but a little bit lucky. It's when the referee loses possession, of course, and from that vantage point, you can't see what's happening in front of the goaltender. That is the beauty of the four-official system, though. You have one official to see to at least yell at your partner that the puck's loose.
You got that right. Communication, critical out there on the ice, not just between the players, but the officials as well. Well, some great hockey in that opening 20 minutes, and as to be expected, another tightly contested game here between the Markham Thunder and the Canadiennes de Montréal. But after 20 minutes, it's a 1-0 lead for the home team, courtesy a breakaway goal from Laura McIntosh. Stay tuned during the first intermission. We've got a pre-taped interview with Jamie Lee Rattray, and then Ben will be joined live by Laura McIntosh ringside. It's the Markham Thunder 1, Le Canadiennes de Montréal 0. You're watching CWHL Live.
The thing that excites me the most about this collection is the fact that we're able to celebrate the diversity of the Canadian landscape. Our actual campaign really celebrates the beauty that Canada is.
To be with a brand that fully encourages women to reach their goals and their true abilities, that's something that's really special.
Kimmy, you do know that there's only 4 seasons, right?
Then how do you explain the way kids wish away the summer because we can't wait to play in the fall? Or how teammates often become best mates? Or how families happily vacation in Winnipeg in January because that's where the tournament is? So you see, Miss Woods, there is a 5th season, and it's the best season in Canada.
So you're talking about hockey?
Oh, it's more than just talking, Miss Woods.
Scotiabank is proud to support over 5,000 teams in Canada's 5th season.
From the Thornhill Community Centers, the Markham Thunder and Les Canadiennes de Montreal. And tonight it is You Can Play night, joined alongside You Can Play ambassador for the Markham Thunder, Jamie Lee Rattray. And Jamie, thanks so much for doing this. Maybe we'll start with why you personally got involved in this and why it's so important to support this initiative.
Yeah, I mean, being in hockey a long time and being on teams a long time, it's really important for everyone to have an equal kind of playing field and make sure that they're comfortable in the dressing room and an environment that they can feel comfortable in and myself and being in this community LGBTQ, and I think it's such a great night that we can kind of spread awareness about it and kind of be a voice for You Can Play and how big it is and how important it is for everyone to feel equal and feel comfortable in their own skin.
The CWHL was one of the first leagues to support this in 2012, and the CWHL is all about building leaders and building dreams. Why is it so important for this league in particular to support You Can Play?
I mean, it's huge, right? I mean, like you said, we build leaders in this league, and I think it's so important to be a part of something like this and show that we are welcoming everybody into this league, and no matter what, and the environment we want to create in this league and for women's hockey is really, really important. So I'm happy to be a part of it and be a part of this game tonight. I think it's going to be really awesome, and I hope a lot of people show up and see how awesome it is.
Nelson Mandela said sport has the power to unite the world in ways that little else does. Of course, You Can Play talks about this in the point of view of an athlete, but it's a much larger conversation that we're having in society. What role do you see sport playing in breaking down walls in order to have a more just society?
I mean, like you said, sport can be a huge voice, and I think you see it in many ways, and I think the biggest thing is just making sure that everyone's comfortable, and like you said, not just inside the rink or outside. You want to make sure that the society sees it exactly the same way, and that's the fight we have every day in terms of the LGBTQ community, and I think if we can start here and maybe build it and bring it out, it's outside of the rink, that's one thing where we need to start, and who knows where it can go, so I'm happy to be part of it.
Jamie, thanks for this.
No problem, thank you.
You're watching CWHL Live.
Home is not just something you can see or touch. Home is a feeling. It's the place where you feel safe to have those little moments that mean everything. At ADT, we believe that feeling should always be there. Whether it's at your house or your business, we help keep you safe so you can have those moments that make you feel at home. Wherever you are.
Like people, businesses have their journey, their path. Sometimes straight, but more often evolving, growing, and adapting. And like people, businesses' needs change, creating the need for knowledge in areas like accounting, consulting, and tax. Areas critical to your continued growth and success. All part of the journey, and all part of what we do together with you. So that when your business has arrived, it's ready to keep going. MNP, wherever business takes you.
After one period of play, score on the ice stands 1-0 for the Markham Thunder, thanks in part to Laura McIntosh. Laura, thanks for joining us. Take us through what you saw on your breakaway goal.
I think we got lucky with a good turnover by Rattray and Richards. I saw open ice in the middle, and so I just broke, and luckily Ratty hit me with a good pass, and from there I just tried to put it in.
Now, you guys are coming off of a pretty long road trip to China. The bodies are still adjusting to the time change. Is there any difference tonight in terms of conserving energy out there on the ice?
You know what? I think we've had a good week of practice moving forward, and I think everyone's ready to play, and we're actually happy to be back home as well, so I think that's helping.
You're up by 1, but if history proves any lesson, these games are typically close against Montreal. How do you keep the W tonight?
We know Montreal's going to come out hard against us, so we're just going to keep getting pucks deep, working hard on the forecheck, and keep going here.
Laura, thanks for this.
Yeah, thank you.
It's Les Canadiennes de Montreal and the Markham Thunder. You're watching CWHL Live.
Sanderson passes it to Westfall, takes a shot, and it's a no-goal. Westfall passes it to Sanderson, who passes it to Bobby Orr.
Tried a shot that was wide and Keenan cleared it but not out. Bobby Orr behind the net to Sanderson. Orr! Bobby Orr! For Boston Bruins! Up the center and coming in as Lou. Hillendyke centered it. And that scores! Kelly McDonald! 5:10 left to play in the second. Here's Lemieux. The center penalty coming up. Look at Lemieux! Oh my heavens! What a goal! What a move! Lemieux! Oh baby! Here's a shot. Henderson made a wild stab for it, failed. Here's another shot. Right by the score! Henderson has scored for Canada.
And the crowd goes wild! When I was 7, I wore these gloves. they held this stick. Well, these skates carried me over the blue line. We won the championship, and now it's all yours. Cool. Oh, and this mouth guard. I'll get my own. Thanks.
The 5th season is when spirit for the game gets passed down. That's why we're proud to support over 5,000 teams.
Well, those were some highlights from the Markham Thunder road trip to Shenzhen, China, as they took on the Vanke Rays and the Kunlun Red Star. Those highlights you just saw were from their last game, a 1-0 defeat to the hands of Kunlun Red Star, but a tremendous experience for the Thunder. As we get you set back here at Thornhill Community Center, as Les Canadiennes de Montréal trail the Markham Thunder 1-0 in this edition of CWHL Live. I'm Nico Cardarelli up here in the booth with Ben Smith, and Ben, you had the chance to catch up with Laura McIntosh during that first intermission, and I got to think that the Thunder feel pretty good after 20 minutes of play.
Well, I know I certainly would. Laura McIntosh just take it back with a bit of a recap. Phenomenal breakaway goal from Jamie Lee Rattray to make it 1-0 for the Markham Thunder. And like she said in her interview, they're happy to be back at home, happy to be back on a regular sleep schedule, and they're all fired up and ready to go. So, they're just going to come out guns a-blazing, like you said, would feel definitely very good about that first period. Not a bad period on Montreal's end either. In fact, it was a pretty good one. Emmerich Smashmeyer stood tall in front of that net, was right on top of plays, as was Erica Howe. And Montreal, like we said, their challenges tonight, they play Markham, and tomorrow they play a very well-rested Toronto Furies club. It's not a 2-2 in the same weekend with the same team it's not a 2-game weekend with the same team like it typically is in this league. They play 2 separate teams, so it's a bit of a challenge. They're going to have to conserve a bit of energy, but they're also going to have to come down fired up and ready to go against this Markham squad.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, it was a fairly good first period for Montreal, but this game's still certainly within their grasp. Again, they've played the fewest number of games in the CWHL to this point, so while it is going to be a busy and physically demanding weekend from them, really no excuses. They should be ready to come out and be fired up, and I'm expecting even a bit more of an aggressive performance from Montreal in this second period.
I would have to agree with you. They've only played 7. Meanwhile, Markham's played 12 this year. Montreal sits in 4th place in the league, record of 5-2. Good for 10 points on the season. They've been traveling, like we said, all day long from Montreal, but like you said, no excuses at all. It's all fired up this second period. Both squads, I wouldn't be surprised.
Second period of play underway here from the Thornhill Community Center as the Markham Thunder with early puck possession. They skate left to right across your screen as they're donning those the forest green jerseys with some black and white trim. Montreal with the white sweaters, some red and blue trim as they bring the puck in the zone here, led by Ann-Sophie Bate. Bate with the puck on her stick, shields it from the would-be check of Richards. Pinballs around, and now Markham gets it out to center ice, led by Jamie Lee Rattray. Rattray drops it for Barbara. She lets the shot fly, and she taps in her own rebound. Kristen Barbera off the backboards and in the back of the net. Markham capitalized just 41 seconds into the period, and they make it a 2-0 lead.
And that is textbook case of why you crash the net. You never know where the rebound's going. Kristen Barbara able to pick up her rebound on the blocker side of Emirates Mashmeyer to tap it home, give Markham the 2-0 lead. A good job as well by Jamie Lee Rattray to skate it inside the zone, get that initial shot off, and allow Kristen Barbara to skate in and pick up her own rebound. Phenomenal play.
The in-house DJ playing Rihanna's work, and that was all work there by Barbara to get that goal for Markham. So very apropos the music considering the effort from Kristen Barbera. For Barbera, that's her 3rd goal of the season, and Jamie Lee Rattray drawing another assist here, so make it a 2-point night for Jamie Lee Rattray. On Ben, we talked about Montreal maybe being a little more aggressive to start. They certainly seem to have a little bit of jump, led by Bate, and then moments after the chance from Bate, Markham bring the puck up the ice, and all of a sudden it's a 2-0 lead for the Thunder.
And it looked like Carolina Urban was a little bit tied up behind the net there with, I believe that was Kathy Chartrand. The referees are right on top of that. But yeah, like you said, there's a nice replay. And there we see just tap in the net right in front of Emirates Mashmeyer. But if you're Montreal, you just got to forget about that. You got to still have the same game plan of coming into this period, guns a-blazing. Now you have a 2-goal lead, lead to catch up with, unfortunately. But like you said, it's just forgetting about that initial. As we look like we have a penalty coming up here to Montreal. Believe that is going to be...
That's going to be Alamos heading to the box there. So it goes from bad to potentially worse now for Montreal as Markham will head to the power play. 0 for 1 in the game so far are the Thunder with the power play. But hey, they capitalized moments ago to make it 2-0. Let's see if they can add another one here with the advantage. They would love to go up 3-0 and really take a stranglehold early in this second period. Grigg, she tries to get around the hard-checking Maren. She's dumped for her efforts. No call. Play continues on, and Chartrand will lift that one out and down the ice. So Howe out of her net here for Markham. She'll just leave it for Grigg, the defenseman who's smooth skating and confident with the puck on her stick. Lindsay Grigg plays it up to Jamie Lee Rattray. Rattray tries to get around Poudrier, nothing doing initially, and now Bate will lift that one down the length of the ice, right on goal. Easy stop there for Howe. Woods will start it up once again for Markham behind her own net. We'll keep an eye on Ann-Sophie Bate out there, shorthanded, killing the penalty for Montreal. But, well, you can see right now she's got that nose for the net, and she'll be looking to create some shorthanded opportunities should she get sprung. McIntosh will start things up again for Markham as they've got 45 seconds remaining here on the power play. Feeds it through to Urban, who I've been really impressed with here in her return to the CWHL after taking some time away from hockey, focusing on school and professional life, making a return this season, and she's been incredibly effective for the Thunder, filling in all sorts of situations and collecting 4 points so far through 12 games.
Yeah, and she's been a leader with the club on and off the ice, helping out in any way she can off the ice too. Saw her coming in today with the mascot. I was offered to wear it and declined. But here we go on this power play for the Markham Thunder. Just not a whole lot of puck control. Montreal seems to be right on top of that. You would have been a good mascot, I'm thinking.
You know what, Ben? I'm a little disappointed in you. You've done such an amazing job tonight, but you just buried the biggest lead. You could have been the mascot tonight.
I know.
We definitely should have had you in costume up here.
It would have been cool, eh?
Well, something to look forward to.
I don't know how good you'd be able to speak into a microphone inside that costume, but
fair enough. Good
you never know. We'll see about next week.
Power play now over for the Thunder. Montreal has Alamo back on the ice, and they're back to even strength. Carolina Urban steps in off the half wall, feathers it in front. Big rebound. It's sitting there in the hash marks, and Markham unable to put it on net. They keep the puck in the zone, though, as Brown doing some yeoman's work. Knocked away from her and scooped up by Skeets, who had a backhander go wide of the net. Teams battling for possession. Couple of 17s going at each other as Brown and DeRoche come hard together, but it'll be Montreal being led out by Alamo. Alamo dumps it in and will peel off for a change, and that'll give Markham a chance to get the puck up the ice. Intended for Montgomery, just out of her reach. Fanning on the initial clearing attempt and then rolling in front. Montreal gets a little bit lucky that Markham couldn't capitalize on that sloppy play. Beaulieu, she tries to feather one through, nothing doing first time, and now Sophie Bro will have to backpedal to start up here for Montreal. Feeds it through to Morin, who's got a hot stick for that Canadienne. We'll keep an eye on her. Noemi Morin centered in front, and Erica Howe did well to kick that aside. Beaulieu, she feathers that one around Hartwick, stays in the zone. Amard picks it up, shot right on, big rebound, but she can't toe drag it to her own stick to put it past Howe. Montreal turning up the heat. Amard spins and lets a shot fly, but that one just missed the net. Great diving play to hold it in temporarily by Brohl, but now Markham at the end of a change and under some pressure will dump it in and get fresh legs out there. So 12:40 to go here in the second period. The Markham Thunder maintain a 2-0 lead over the Canadiennes de Montréal as you're watching CWHL Live. I'm Nico Cardarelli up here with Ben Smith, and as always, Steve Mitchell doing a great job behind the scenes leading our technical crew. Again, we want to encourage you to connect with us through social media over the course of the broadcast. You can tweet me at BroBehindTheMic. You can tweet Ben. Ben, I don't think we've given out your Twitter handle this season.
I'm on Twitter at Ben Smith 1027. Always happy to have a conversation online with y'all.
Great chance there for Montreal, turned away by the blocker arm of Howe, as bearing down for that chance was Clement Hedra. Jamie Lee Rattray gets around one, can't cut to the net the second chance, and now McIntosh has to retreat here. So yes, you can connect with Ben and I on Twitter throughout the game. We'll get to a few tweets and let us know where you're watching from, who you're cheering on, and we'll give you a shout out if we can. And of course, as always, make sure you give the CWHL a follow on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Join the conversation by following at the CWHL. Deschênes dumps that puck in. Out of her net comes Howe, but she leaves it there for the defender, Simmons. Urban plays it for Barbara. That's out of her reach. Levine pinches in, makes the play, and now Simmons will get it over to Seedhouse. Seedhouse feathers that one just out of the reach of Skeets. The fleet of foot Fujimoto first back on that one. Easy to track her out there. She's wearing those white skates. You got to have a lot of confidence if you're wearing white skates. And Nachi Fujimoto, of course, a national team member for Team Japan. She's a stalwart on that blue line, and she's earned the right to wear those flashy white skates.
I was going to say you need a lot of confidence, and she certainly has a reason definitely to have said confidence. Like you said, a member of the national team, and she's been a real workhorse for this Montreal squad. 7 games played, no points yet, but for sure she's looking for it. She's been a stallion on that blue line for Les Canadiennes and Montreal, and she certainly had a couple of great plays tonight as well.
She eats up a lot of minutes on that blue line. She's a versatile player. They will put her out there on the PK. As we've got a delayed penalty call coming up here against Montreal. It's now touched by Les Canadiennes, and here comes the call. Interference. It looks like Noemi Morin will head to the box. She's not too thrilled about it. And actually, check that. It's going to be Beaulieu who serves this minor. So we'll keep an eye if Markham can capitalize. 0 for 2 on the power play so far tonight.
Yeah, and it happened right along near the Montreal bench, and here's where discipline becomes a key part. This is Montreal's 3rd power play of the game. Markham hasn't had any luck on the first 2, but they're bound to get the hang of it at some point. So for Markham, I've noticed, they just need a bit more puck control, I find, during their power play. A bit more control, you have that time to kind of set up, so take advantage of it. Montreal's been all over them the first 2, so we'll see what happens here the 3rd.
4 goals on 17 power play chances coming into tonight's game. They're 0 for 2 so far, but with Taylor Woods out there, there's always a chance for offense. Grigg can't handle that puck at the blue line, so Markham will start up again on the wrong side of center ice. Grigg brings it into the zone, drops it to Richards. Richards right back to Grigg. Grigg tied up there by the bigger-bodied Chartrand. She's such a stud out there on the blue line for Montreal. She makes really difficult plays look easy, and even right there, really effective on this PK, just letting that clock tick down by keeping the puck pinned against the boards. Now it comes loose. Jamie Lee Rattray digging for it. Feathered back to the point for McIntosh. Near side, Woods lets the shot fly. That one blocked by Chartrand off the end boards. She has her pocket picked, and now Rattray's going to be penalized here. So the power play comes to an end with 47 seconds left, but cross-checking the call to Jamie Lee Rattray. She is not happy about that, showing a lot of frustration. And to be fair, she's probably got a point. She took about 4 or 5 knocks before she finally gave one back, and as is the case often, the retaliation gets
I was just going to say a lot of officials will call you on the retaliation, but they won't call you on the initial beating, which, debatable if they should for sure. But Jamie Lee Rattray, her 2nd penalty of the game, and, she wasn't too happy about that one, caught in the scrum. Kind of getting beat up there a little bit, so gave a little bit of a shove back. Gets called for it. Now it's 4-on-4 for the next little bit.
We'll have about 30 seconds of 4-on-4 before Montreal get a short power play opportunity, as Urban does well to keep the puck in the zone here. Brohl, she makes the pass to Lafort. A little too hot to handle, so Simmons will dump it right back in. Now the Markham Thunder had a great post on social media a couple days ago featuring Dania Simmons and Liz Knox, and it showed the girls receiving their first ever paychecks here in the CWHL. A momentous occasion, a really historic moment, and of course we congratulate all the players for earning a wage this season in the CWHL as Erica Howe turns that shot aside.
Yeah, that's been one of the things the league's been working on for quite a long time. They wanted to do it for a long time, but they also wanted it to be sustainable, and that's why they've done it in this way this year. But like you said, those two in particular, they've been here forever, since the start of the league, and they've really helped to build it a lot, and phenomenal character players in the community as well, and it's just a phenomenal thing to be able to see all their hard work finally pay off.
Well, kudos to those two ladies and everyone participating in the CWHL this year as Becca King blocks that shot. Montreal on the power play here for another 45 seconds. As that puck up and out of play, Les Canadiennes are signaling that this should be a delay of game penalty. The referees come together to discuss this, and we'll keep an eye. But I think they're just going to call this puck out of play. Oh, no, they are calling a penalty. So it's Taylor Woods heading to the box, and a 5-on-3 here for Les Canadiennes for the next 44 seconds.
I love watching the triangle on the ice. Love 5-on-3. One of those things. I love it. So we'll see Noemi Moran and some of their bigger players on the blue line as well. Kathy Chartres for the next little while. 5-on-3.
And Sophie Bate was looking short side. She wanted to tuck that one under the bar, but just missed. So the puck up and out of play. Face-off should come outside Markham's blue line.
And if you're Montreal, this is your chance to get back into the game. You got a 5-on-3 for the next 36 seconds. Take advantage of it. But I was about to comment with the puck going out of the play. We haven't seen the one up on the roof come down yet, eh?
Well, who knows? Maybe it'll be at a game in a later junction in the season. But for now, it stays up there in the roof. And for now, Montreal with the 5-on-3. Navigate in front. Noemi Moran thought she had a golden opportunity, but Richards diving in front. I think she got a piece of it. Puck up and out of play with 23 seconds left on this 5-on-3 power play.
And a great setup there for Noemi Moran right in front center slot. It's a little too high. If it was football, it would be a field goal, but those don't count in hockey. But good pressure applied nonetheless by Les Canadiennes to Montreal.
Chartrand receives it from Bate. Over to Poudrier. Back to Chartrand. They trade positions, and Chartrand tries to feather it through. It's into the far corner where Anso comes up with it. And Sophie Bate centers in front. Nothing doing initially. Here comes the first Thunder player back on the ice, Jamie Lee Rattray. So we've got a $1:10 left in the power play now for Montreal. Try to get the redirection to Moran, and now with the puck tied at the back of the net, they'll whistle it down, but some good pressure there from Montreal, and Markham did well to weather the storm.
Nonetheless, Cassandra Poudrier, good opportunity there. Looked like it could have gone in a little bit of an open net, but nonetheless, Erica Howe standing strong. She just stands there in place, waits for the whistle. She doesn't try to move around. She knows if she stands there, it's going to be like a wall. And a good job there as it looked like it was kind of bouncing and back and forth at the back of the net, kind of from a weird angle. But, you know, that's one of the best things sometimes, is to stand there like a wall and wait for the whistle.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. For as great as her lateral movement is, she really doesn't move more than necessary. She's just solid positionally, always in a spot to make the initial save. There she makes another save. That shot from Desrochers knocked down and cleared down the ice. So Montreal really mounting some good pressure with 40 seconds now left in the power play. Markham doing well to kill off this advantage. Far side, Les Canadiennes bring it up the ice. Sarah Laforte, she splits the D, brings it through the zone, feathered in front, right on goal, and well, it's in the back of the net, but it's waved off, and here come a couple of punches, and the referees are going to have some paperwork out of this scrum. They were very quick to wave it off as it got between the legs of Howe, but that's definitely the right call, no goal. The net had come off its pegs. And then in the scrum, as we get a look at the replay here, it's Deschênes and McIntosh who throw a couple of bows, and now McIntosh has a couple of choice words for Deschênes, as the two will have to be escorted to the sin bin.
Yeah, it was one of those. Montreal's kind of celebrating right in front of the net. And, you know, your first instinct is to protect your goaltender. So McIntosh trying to shove them out of the way. Nonetheless, the referee going to take them both, so it's going to cancel each other out. Still 5-on-4 for the next couple seconds, and it'll be 5-on-5 hockey. But like you say, it was the right call. The net definitely came off before the whistle blew, and as the referees are going to get summoned over to the penalty box to make sure everything on the clock is all set. I believe they had the penalties on the clock right now, but those actually cancel each other out. They're coincidental penalties, meaning no one has to serve them from the ice. It's just 5-on-5 hockey, or in this case 5-on-4. And the players will have to wait for a whistle to return to play after their 2 minutes is up.
So Montreal will have another 24 seconds of power play time here as the referees give a quick explanation to the Thunder bench. No protest from the coaching staff, so we'll get the action back underway with a power play of 24 seconds left on the clock here for Montreal. They trail Markham 2-0 in this one as you're watching CWHL Live.
I'm curious because they still have the 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if someone maybe got a 4-minute or something like that, and they have to serve the 2 minutes on the clock, and then the additional one cancels it out. Either that, or they're still working on the clock to correct it. Maybe not. It's not in the. Oh, there you go. The 2 minutes had just been taken off of the clock. So I do believe that's the case. Is it's just 2 minutes apiece, and it'll coincidentals cancel each other out. 5-on-4 for the next couple of seconds, and it'll be 5-on-5 puck. But as the referees, I think, have it set. 5-on-4 is the call.
So we've got the face-off coming up here to the right of Erica Howe. Noemi Morin on the draw for Montreal. That Canadienne win it. Back to the point for Totino. Chartrand thought about the shot. Now Totino lets it fly, and that one redirected wide of the near post. Bate, she's tied up, makes the pass over to Morin. Center back in front to Bate. Big rebound, but Howe keeps her pad tight to the post, makes the save, and then scoops up that loose puck for the face-off. Great goaltending from Erica Howe.
Yeah, absolutely right on top of that one, playing aggressive as always. This is where if you're Montreal, you have those scrums in front of the net. You got to realize you also play tomorrow, and you don't want to be doing anything to hurt your team and get a suspension or anything of that nature. So discipline's definitely a key, especially when you have had a long day of bus rides and being tired and that sort of thing. It's all about discipline and having a bit of courage to walk away sometimes.
Icing the call here against Markham as Becca King came out of the box right before that puck was shot down the ice. So we're back to 5-a-side hockey here with the face-off coming deep in Markham territory.
And good on the linesman. They're right on top of it to see there was indeed even strength when the puck was shot down. It'll be icing to the glove side of Erica Howe.
Off the face-off, Jamie Lee Rattray tries to poke it forward, nearly gave it away as Chartrand had a good mind to intercept that. Markham will have to start out of their own zone again. Emmanuelle Blais, she's checked closely against the near boards, wrestled down to her knees, but here comes Markham back the other way. Woods lifts that one in, wide of the net, and Noseworthy can't get to it first. Now she has it, picked off her stick by Urban. Jordana Peroff leaves it for Emmanuelle Blais, and Montreal will get some changes on the fly. That pass intended for King off her skate, and now onto the stick of Poudrier. Cassandra Poudrier feathers it through. Noemi Morin, short shifted. Toe drag, lets the shot fly. Good job by the defender, Barbara, to step up in front of her and get a piece of that, making it an easy save for Howe.
Yeah, and a good job there by Erica Howe, too. She did have traffic in front of her, but nonetheless, she took her total focus on the puck, knew exactly where it was going to be, and aligned herself really well with it. She's been incredible tonight, very aggressive.
She's been on her game for sure. Montreal are going to need something special to beat Erica Howe tonight. As Becca King receives that pass for the Thunder. Goes cross ice, intended for Brown. Icing waved off, so Markham get the puck in deep. Let's see if they can capitalize. King check closely. Totino digs that one off the half wall. King comes up with it. King has Ronsberg in there, leaves it for Melissa Ronsberg, gets it right back to Becca King. She tried to cut tight to the net, and now Fujimoto comes in to provide some defensive support for Montreal. Clement Hadra brings it across the blue line. She's got Poudrier with her, centers it in front for LaFord, and she tried to catch Howe going the wrong way, but the shot goes wide of the far post. Ronsberg can't corral that bouncing puck. LaFord has it behind the net. Lifts it out in front, nothing doing there, and now Brown has a chance to clear the zone for Markham. She gets it out. But right back to Montreal. Desrochers. Nice pass to Amard. Amard gains the zone. She's checked closely by 3 Markham players. They still get the puck forward. Return pass intended for Amard, just too much for her to handle. Then she gets the shot away. Puck behind the net for Ann-Sophie Bate. Bate stick handles. Tries to leave it for Morin, but that's broken up. Teams battling for puck possession now comes out to Amard. Amard centered back in front, but nothing doing, and now Brown has to shield it from Bate. She gets it to center ice. Markham under pressure here. Montreal trying to answer back. Fed in front, bouncing puck, and she scores! Noemi Morin continues to have a red-hot stick for Les Canadiennes, and it's a 2-1 game.
Like we were saying before, she's having a phenomenal season. She was she was in a fantastic position there, like we said before, to crash the net and have that open rebound as we see here. And a good job there by Noemi Moran just to be in the perfect positioning to bang it on home. I actually do believe that was Ann-Sophie Pate who capitalized on the goal, the newly minted captain, but Noemi Moran for sure able to get that initial shot off and create that traffic in front.
You're right, on the replay there, it looked like Bate may have gotten a stick on it. We'll wait for the official announcement, but for Montreal, most importantly, they get the answer, cutting this lead in half, and they try even the game up right there.
So it is going to be Noemi Moran who gets credit for that one. Like we said, phenomenal effort by Les Canadiennes to crash and bang that net in front of Erica Howe.
Play opening up a little bit, end-to-end action now as Alamo brings it in for Les Canadiennes. She tries to feed it back to Deschênes. Nothing happening here yet as Deschênes digs away for that puck. So for Noemi Moran, who scores that goal for Montreal, give her now 5 points through her last 3 games, including tonight's game. Noemi Moran really getting it done for Les Canadiennes this season. Her 5th goal of the season, and tonight her 8th game. Peroff receives that pass at the blue line. She's in there against DeLay. DeLay plays it off the boards but not out. And now behind the play we've got a whistle. Oh, it actually hit the referee down low, so that's why we've got the stoppage here, as that puck ends up into the shoulder area of the ref, so we'll get a look at the stoppage. Actually, sorry, this was the goal by Moran. And yeah, you can see on that look, while Bate was there, if she needed to tap it in, Noemi Moran tucks it in for her 5th of the season.
Nice backhand there, the referee says she's all good, shakes it off.
Tough break for Markham on that goal, though, Ben.
You know,
a bit of a broken down play, and full credit to Moran for capitalizing, but
absolutely
tough break for Erica Howe and the Markham Thunder.
Puts Markham right back, or Montreal rather, right back into this one. And like we were saying before, close games, 1-goal games. And it's looking like this third period and the rest of this second is going to be phenomenal.
3:45 to go here in the second period. Les Canadiennes de Montréal cutting this to a 2-1 game. And they'll try even it up before the break. Barbera off the bench. She can't corral that puck initially. Clement Hadra in there as well for Montreal. Now Emmanuel Blais has it. Her pocket picked. McIntosh scoops it to the line but not out. Kept in by Totino. Bouncing puck finally knocked away out of the danger zone by Dania Simmons. Simmons under pressure from Totino. McIntosh tries to lift that one out of the zone. Laford keeps it in. Clement Hadra in the corner. She's tied up, and now McIntosh has a chance to clear the zone for Markham. Barbera brings it across center ice, hits the blue line. She's got Jamie Lee Rattray with her, but 4 white jerseys back in defensive support sniff that one out, and here Montreal called for an icing with 2:50 remaining in the second period.
Like we said, Erica Howe, tough break on that last goal, and that's what the defensemen really need to get back. Yeah, Ann-Sophie Pate in a perfect position for the shot, but you know, why wasn't there a defenseman covering her, right? So that's one for Markham to take into this intermission coming up here. Just regroup. Still a phenomenal period for both squads, but Montreal got right back into this one. You know, they have the momentum and feel really good about their play so far.
Oh, Laford tries to get around Hartwick. She was impeded ever so slightly. No call. Montreal continue on as Laford makes the pass. Tries to get it right back. What a save by Howe. Somehow getting that shoulder up there to knock the puck away. And I think Laford may be a little hard done by as Bate's shot ends up going wide to the far post. MR digging after it. Puck back to the point, kept in for the time being by Les Canadiennes, and on a second effort, well, they get it to the line, but not out. Good job by Moran and Bate. And Sophie Bate, Noemi Moran digging after the puck with 2:25 to go here in the period. Sophie Brohl tees that shot up from the point, but that's snagged by Erica Howe, and she'll hold on to that one for a face-off. Well, make sure you stay tuned during the second intermission, as Ben Smith will be joined ringside by a Canadienne player. As we'll wait to see who he's joined by, and as Erica Howe catches a much-deserved breath of fresh air there. A little bit of a respite as the officials talk something over on the far side. So 2:21 to go here in the second period of play. You get a look at the referees there as Kathy Chartrand and Dania Simmons representing their squads in that discussion. Hard to pinpoint exactly what the referees want to discuss with both defensemen here, but a bit of a conversation ensues, and we should be back to action in just a few moments here. In the meantime, a good opportunity to remind you to connect with us through social media. Connect with the CWHL online by following at the CWHL on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and join the discussion today. So the referees have a quick word with both benches, but it's going to be Marion Alamos stepping in to take the draw for the Canadienne. This face-off coming to the right of Erica Howe, and it'll be Carolina Urban there defensively for the Thunder. So a quick word by the officials over at the scorer's box. And they're going to let a little bit of time run off the clock here. So I think that was the issue, that the clock didn't restart on time. So we now have 2:13 left in the period. The Montreal coaching staff receiving the message from the officials. No protests, so we're back underway here. 2:13 to go in the second period. Off the faceoff, the Canadiens won the draw, but they couldn't corral the puck, and Markham tried to lift it out past Bro. Nothing doing. Deschênes with the puck in her skates, can't quite corral it cleanly. And now here comes Seedhouse back the other way for Markham. Ellie Seedhouse across the blue line. Tees it up, and that one didn't miss the top corner by much. Mashmeyer had to stab at it with her blocker as Urban picks that one off. Urban behind the net. She'll leave it for Skeets. Back to the point. Simmons. She'll just fire it around the boards into the near corner as we've got $1:35 left in the period. Montreal trailing 2-1, trying to answer back with a tying goal before the period ends. But nothing doing that time as Jamie Lee Rattray has room to skate. Rattray bringing it in all alone, cuts to the back end, what a save! Puck still loose, second chance by Skeets, and Mashmeyer makes another save to keep this a one-goal game. End-to-end action, Jamie Lee Rattray in all alone. She was being chased from behind by the defenders. You get a look at the replay there. And then Skeets coming in for the rebound chance, but Mashmeyer standing tall and making save after save. Here comes a 2-on-1 break for Montreal. Clement Hadra makes the pass to LaFleur. What a save, Erica Howe! Both goaltenders making big saves in the dying moments of this second period. Moments ago it was Mashmeyer on the breakaway, and right now here we get another look at that 2-on-1 save from Erica Howe. Off the faceoff, Montreal with the second chance, and that's turned away by Howe. They fire it right in. Puck still loose, it's behind the net. Centered in front, Howe makes another save on LaFleur. Well, Sarah LaFleur with two great chances in the past couple seconds. And again, she's turned away by the ever-smiling Erica Howe. 58.3 seconds left here in the second period as the team's trading chances down the stretch. Montreal trailing 2-1 here as the Markham Thunder try hang on through the end of the second period. That shot from the point over top the net. Amard had her stick up in the armpit of Howe, and then the shot from Bate off a defenseman's stick up and out of play. So the faceoff will stay inside Markham territory with 46.2 seconds left in the period. We get a look there at Cassandra Poudrier, who's, well, she's an anchor on that blue line for Montreal. She's picked up 5 assists in 7 games this season. A +2 rating, standing 5'5", 161 pounds. She is a anchor on that blue line for the Canadiennes. There she wins the foot race against Skeets, and Montreal will try start up again here with about 35 seconds remaining in the period. Picked off, here comes Skeets. Tries to cut through the defenders. Skeets forced wide by Poudrier, and then the pass picked off by Bate. 22 seconds left in the period. That pass intended for Marin, a little bit behind her. Amard comes in, gets it to Bate. She puts that one right on, but Erica Howe makes that save look easy, holding it with 14.04 seconds left in the period. As we get a good look at Ann-Sophie Bate wearing that C on her jersey. Well, keep your head up, Ann. So this game is very much in reach still. And you're a game changer who can easily turn this game on its head. Lots of hockey here to play. Ann-Sophie Bate and Les Canadiennes de Montréal. Here comes Richards for Markham. She feathers that through. Rattray, period, ends. Another couple of seconds, and Rattray may have had a goal-scoring chance, but the buzzer sounds, and through 40 minutes of play, it's the Markham Thunder maintaining a 1-goal lead over Les Canadiennes de Montréal. 2 goals here in this second period. The first scored by Kristen Barbera, assisted by Jamie Lee Rattray, and then Montreal answering back on a goal by Noemi Marin. So after 40 minutes, it's the Markham Thunder 2, Les Canadiennes de Montréal 1. Stay tuned during the second intermission. We've got Ben Smith ringside. He'll be joined at ice level by a player from Les Canadiennes. We've got some great highlights to show you during the second intermission as well. Through 40 minutes, Markham 2, Montreal 1. You're watching CWHL Live.
The thing that excites me the most about this collection is the fact that we're able to celebrate the diversity of the Canadian landscape. Our actual campaign really celebrates the beauty that Canada is.
To be with a brand that fully encourages women to reach their goals and their true abilities, that's something that's really special.
2 periods in the book here from the Thornhill Community Center. The Markham Thunder leading 2-1 versus Les Canadiennes de Montreal, joined now by Noemi Marin. Phenomenal goal to get your team back into this one. Take us through what you saw.
Yeah, we definitely worked that one in the nets, to be honest. The whole shift, at the end of the shift, everybody a good effort to put it in.
You have a tough game tomorrow against Toronto, a well-rested club. How do you balance staying aggressive tonight while also conserving some energy for tomorrow's game?
To be quite honest, we're only focusing on today. It's 2-1 right now, and we need to come out hard in the third if we want to win this one. So I think right now, our team, our only focus is to win this one.
Let's talk about that. How do you get the lead in this one?
We're going to have to keep battling hard. Howie on the other side, the goalie, she needs lots of traffic in front of her net if we want to put it in. So we're trying to create some chaos in front of her, and we just have to keep working.
Noemi, thanks for this. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
You're watching CWHL Live, the Markham Thunder and Les Canadiennes de Montreal. Stay with us.
Kimmy, you do know that there's only 4 seasons, right?
Then how do you explain the way kids wish away the summer because we can't wait to play in the fall? Or how teammates often become best mates? Or how families happily vacation in Winnipeg in January because that's where the tournament is? So you see, Miss Woods, there is a 5th season, and it's the best season in Canada.
So you're talking about hockey?
Oh, it's more than just hockey, Miss Woods.
Scotiabank is proud to support over 5,000 teams in Canada's 5th season.
Home is not just something you can see or touch. Home is a feeling. It's the place where you feel safe to have those little moments that mean everything. At ADT, we believe that feeling should always be there, whether it's at your house or your business. We help keep you safe so you can have those moments that make you feel at home, wherever you are.
Like people, businesses have their journey, their path, sometimes straight, but more often evolving, growing, and adapting. And like people, businesses' needs change, creating the need for knowledge in areas like accounting, consulting, and tax. Areas critical to your continued growth and success, all part of the journey, and all part of what we do together with you. So that when your business has arrived, it's ready to keep going. MNP, wherever business takes you.
I was 7, I wore these gloves. They held this stick. Well, these skates carried me over the blue line. We won the championship, and now it's all yours. Cool. Oh, and this mouth guard. I'll get my own. Thanks.
The 5th season is when spirit for the game gets passed down. That's why we're proud to support over 5,000 teams.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside the Bell Center for CWHL Live, brought to you by Hilberg and Burke, empowering women one sparkle at a time.
Les Canadiennes. Les joueurs de centre, s'il vous plaît. Players at center ice, please.
And taking the face-off is Ann-Sophie and Cixin Liu for the Kunlun Red Star. Through center ice territory yet again, jamming it up along the wall where the Canadiennes will come away with it. Skating now with the puck is Desrochers. Desrochers goes in to fire it in front, and that one is knocked in. The Canadiennes are the first ones to get on the board. It's 1-0 here at the Bell Center.
Great job to take the puck away from the board, and then a great turnover with speed. And look at this beautiful pass. And Noseworthy just she just put her stick on the puck, keep her stick on the ice, And on the fourth shot on net, the Montreal Canadiens scored their first goal.
Cassandra Poudrier now in Quinlan territory, sending the puck in front. She loses control and tries to get it through, and she does! Les Canadiens go up for a 2-0 lead. The call on the ice appears to be no goal, saying it was a high stick. Fans don't like that call. Cassandra Poudrier nearly making it 2-0, but it looks like it's no goal here with 14
And it was very
seconds.
obvious for Elisabeth Manta. She called it right away. The puck bounced back on the goaltender. We'll have a chance to see the replay here and look at this. And right away she pointed out that there was no goal for ice stick.
As Quinlan will reset. 22 seconds left on the penalty to Kathy Chartrand. In Montreal zone now. Sending the puck in front is Quinlan, trying to get a shot through, and they do! Emrance Mashmeyer down on the ground, unhappy with that one, as Melanie Joux, the defender, beats Mashmeyer, tying the game up. It's a 1-1 hockey game.
Cologne had 3 good scoring chances in a row, and on this one, after a shot, we just put the stick on the puck to redirect the puck behind Mashmeyer, but 3 great scoring chances that they couldn't capitalize on, and now the game is 1-1. Les Canadiens has to show more patience on the offensive zone. They have to bring out their defense. They have to pass the puck, giving goals, creating space.
Wow. Just as you mentioned that, Quinlan gets control of the puck, beating Emrance Mashmeyer to pull ahead for a 2-1 lead. The goal scorer, Jessica Wong, another defender. Both of Quinlan's goals scored by defenders here this afternoon.
Again, great passing of the puck, and they get there, and just a small shot on net, and then she drives the net. She dove in order to put her stick and push it behind Mashmeyer.
And now they'll go for their own line change as Kathy Chartrand resets, knocking the puck forward. It's intercepted by Kelly Stack. Kelly Stack goes in on Mashmeyer and beats her as Mashmeyer falls to the ice. And Mashmeyer is a bit slow to get up here. She's down after being beat by Quinlan, who put the team up 3-1. Kelly Stack, the former U.S. national team player, goal scorer, colliding with Emrance Mashmeyer.
It started here by great anticipation on the breakout, and Stack comes in with speed, and Bro's trying to stop her, and with the speed and obviously going in, she ran into Mashmeyer, and I believe that they're going to have a discussion here to see if the goal should be allowed or not.
Yeah, it could be goaltender interference.
But again, the interference was due to the fact that Bro tried to stop Stack. So it will be obviously a judgment call, but I believe that the goal is a good one.
And Mashmeyer still down on her knees. She's got the trainer out talking to her, and she's just stood up as the crowd cheers on Mashmeyer, shaking her head, saying, "I'm fine." And judging by the reaction on the Quinlan bench, it looks like it's probably a good goal, which would make it a 3-1 hockey game with 8:13 left in the third period here at the Bell Center. Kelly Stack, the goal scorer for Quinlan.
So yes, the goal is good. Again, Marie for the face-off, one of the best for the Montreal Canadiens.
As time runs out here at the Bell Center, the Quinlan Red Star will get their first win against Les Canadiennes de Montréal. 3-1, the final score. As the buzzer sounds, the Quinlan Red Star have defeated the Clarkson Cup champions here at the Bell Center by a score of 3-1.
But obviously it's a good win. It was a great hockey game for both teams. And again, it's a long season. Montreal Canadiens is the Clarkson Cup champion. A long season ahead, and those games will bring them to the next level.
Welcome back to the Thornhill Community Center as we get you set for the third period of play in this CWHL live contest between the Canadiennes de Montréal and the Markham Thunder. It's been quite the game so far. Through 40 minutes of play, it's the Thunder with a 2-1 lead over Les Canadiennes. My name's Nico Cardarelli, joined up here in the booth by Ben Smith. Ben, we just had a look at some of those highlights from a KRS Les Canadiennes game at the Bell Centre in Montreal, and we talk about great traditions and great games and partnerships in the CWHL, and what an incredible partnership between Les Canadiennes and, of course, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Canadiens giving up the Bell Centre once a year to allow Les Canadiennes to play a showcase game. What a great performance, what a great result, and what a great display of sportsmanship in that game between KRS and Les Canadiennes.
And the Molson family and the whole Montreal Canadiens organization has just kind of taken this partnership and grown it to a level we really didn't see before, and the same can be said with the Toronto Maple Leafs as well. It's just phenomenal seeing the Bell Centre, and the fans are out. Montreal has an incredible fan base. Over the years, they've really built it up have a hardcore, passionate fan base that comes to games and supports the league. And it's phenomenal to see. We even see the crowd here tonight. Very good crowd. And you were speaking. I wasn't here when the Chinese teams came in.
Yes.
I believe it was it Kunlun or was it?
Kunlun was here.
Kunlun was here.
Yeah.
And the draw a full jam-packed rink, and that was also incredible to see, right? And
absolutely.
I think there's a lot of interest around the Chinese teams coming in here, and it really fosters a sense of international hockey and cooperation, and it's great to see the fans come out to support it as well.
Well, there's been lots of support for the two Chinese teams and lots of support for these two teams as the third period is underway. The Markham Thunder maintain a 2-1 lead over the Canadiennes de Montréal, and it's Markham skating right to left here in this third period of play. Well, even the most hardcore CWHL fans coming into this season would probably have been scratching their head as to where Kunlun and Vanke would be in the standings midway through the season, and I think few and far between would have predicted them to be in second and third. So it's been quite their start to the year for both Chinese teams as they've really performed well. We've got a penalty coming up here against Markham. Puck centered out in front. Bro lets that shot fly, and with Richards touching the puck, we'll have a stoppage. Just 47 seconds into play, Kristen Barbera is going to be heading to the box for a high sticking minor.
It happened right along the boards. The referee was standing right there. Not sure if we can get a replay of it, but nonetheless, Markham goes to the sin bin for 2 minutes, puts Montreal on the power play, and this is where you're down by 1 goal. It's early in the third. You're all fired up from the previous period. This is where you get back into the game, have a tying goal, and then maybe take the lead further on down the line.
Alamos picks up the puck from Bro. Near side now to LaFord. Under pressure, she has it picked off her stick, and here comes Devin Skeets in a foot race with Poudrier, but it's Cassandra Poudrier who wins that battle. Urban, shorthanded, lifts it towards the net, easily cleared away by Maschmeyer, and here comes Montreal starting it up behind their own goal, led by Poudrier. Montreal 0 for 3 tonight with the power play, and that included a 5-on-3 for a good stretch. Lafort, she has the puck checked. That was Amard who feathers it far side to Alamos. Deschênes in the far corner plays it now near side to Amard. Back to the point for Poudrier. Crosses over to Alamos. Back to Poudrier. Near side now to Amard. 1 minute remaining on the Montreal power play. There's the one-timer by Alamos. Second chance by Deschênes, easily cleared away by Howe. Deschênes with the puck on her stick, pays it back to Poudrier. She tees that one up with traffic in front. Looking for the redirection was Lafort. Poudrier steps in, feeds it in front. Wraparound opportunity, it's in front of the net, nothing doing. Deschênes tees it up off a stick of Richards, bounces under the stick of Alamos and out to center ice with 25 seconds left on the Montreal power play. Teams battling for possession. King gets there for Markham, and it's Tutino scooping it up for Montreal. Nice job by Clement Hedra to get around one. Stops on a dime to get some space. Chartron, that's that shot fly. It's turned away by Howe with traffic in front. King plays it off the boards and out. Penalty over. Barbera back on the ice, so it's even strength. Noemi Morin tries to feather that one back over to Ann-Sophie Bate, but no space to get it done. Chartrand has it roll under her stick, so she has to retreat inside her own zone as Totino picks it up at center. Bate drops it for Morin. In that intermission interview with Noemi Morin, she mentioned the point, we got to get some traffic in front of Erica Howe. That time they do, and banking it out of midair is Ann-Sophie Bate. And she puts it in the back of the net to tie this game up at 2.
Well, I was just going to say, well, speaking of crossing in front of the net, here we see a nice opportunity in front center. Shot right there, and Ann-Sophie Bate able to just smack it right home. Her first goal, wait for it, her first goal as captain of Les Canadiennes de Montréal, and you knew she wanted one here tonight as the captain, and there we see Montreal just 1, 2, 3 shots, the third time to charm, and like we said, it's just crashing in front of that net.
So make it 5 goals on the season for Ann-Sophie Bate in this her 8th game, but as Ben just mentioned, her first as captain of Les Canadiennes de Montréal, and she does it in style, knocking it out of midair, showing some of her baseball skills there. Nice swinging bunt by Bate, puts it in the back of the net.
And we were speaking about Twitter posts earlier with
Yes.
Markham and the paychecks. Also check out Les Canadiennes' Twitter feed. There's a great video of when Ann-Sophie Bate found out she was going to be the captain. The team held a vote, and she was told right on the ice during practice last week. And it's a phenomenal video if you have a second to check it out.
Well, and speaking of phenomenal things, at some point we're going to have to get a close-up of Fielding Montgomery's stick. You see her on the bench there, number 16 for the Markham Thunder. She's sporting a special edition blade tape designed for tonight in support of the You Can Play game. It's a great piece of work by Ted Nesbitt and the people over at Blade Tape, a tremendous product, and they did a great job partnering with Fielding tonight to give her that beautiful piece of tape on her stick. It's got the Markham logo, it's got the rainbow colors, and of course the You Can Play logo, all coming together for a great cause here tonight.
Yeah, and you said it, a great cause here tonight, and the CWHL has been a champion of the You Can Play Foundation since the beginning days back in 2012, and it's just flourished over the years. And you know, in times where the world can be often seen as a cynical place, sport has a really special way of bringing people together, of uniting people in a way that very little else things can. And it's great to see the CWHL champion that tonight.
You know, one of my favorite hashtags is hashtag hockey for everyone.
Yep.
And tonight that's really on display. Hockey is for everyone, and it really comes to the forefront at an evening like tonight. As the Montreal Canadiens take this puck up the ice. They tied the game not long ago, so we're all squared at 2. Jamie Lee Rattray just offside. So we'll have a face-off here with 15-13 to go into third period.
Yeah, she kind of was just a step in front of the puck. It's calling the offside. The line's been able to step inside of positioning and call on that one.
So this draw just outside the Montreal blue line. Richards draws it back, dumps Totino off the face-off, and now Montreal get the puck deep inside Markham territory. Delay, first back on it. Rocks it against the boards and out to center ice, or Poudrier picks it up. Oh, she collides with a Markham player at the blue line, and I can't make out who that Thunder player is. I think that's 15, Laura McIntosh. Initially looked like she went down in an awkward, painful heap, but she's quickly back to her feet, and looks like McIntosh will shake that off.
And she's very tough too, 5'4", Waterloo, Ontario native. Looked like you said, she just kind of found an awkward position, kind of did a twirl there, but nonetheless, she gets right back up, and play continues.
Off the draw, Markham win the face-off. Woods plays it to her defensive partner, Grigg, who will dump that one in wide of the net. Maschmeyer getting a paddle on it to slow it down, and then moments later, the puck up and out of play. So the face-off to stay inside Montreal territory with 14:41 to play.
And here we go. It's pretty late in the third here, or not too late in the third, but Montreal's going to have to get something cooking pretty soon if they want to get back into this one. They've had a couple of good opportunities thus far, and as they got Kathy Chartrand and Fujimoto on the line, and like we said before, she's kind of been one of the unsung workhorses here tonight on that blue line.
Woods with a good play to keep that puck in at the blue line. Bookmark that if Markham capitalize. Her shot off a body and into the far corner, so nothing doing. And here comes Marion Alamos back the other way for Le Canadiennes. She's got Deschênes heading to the net. Couldn't feed the puck through. It stays inside Markham territory for the time being. Now lifted out through center ice. Chartrand will have to retreat back inside her own zone for Le Canadiennes. Tried that long stretch pass intended for Amard, but off the bench, Barbera read that perfectly and broke it up. Deschênes battling for the puck, wedges up against Urban against the half wall. Here comes Seedhouse, cutting to the net hard, shot right on, and that one turned away by Maschmeyer before Sophie Brohl crashes into her own tendy, and the net comes off its pegs. But a great chance there for Ellie Seedhouse getting around the defender, and a better save by Emerence Maschmeyer as we get another look at that chance.
And look, she's coming in full force. Emerence Maschmeyer able to get the pad on it. Kind of falls back a little bit, and the net came off, so no threat for the rebound or anything like that, but
centered in front for Seedhouse. Oh, what a save! Wow, that is robbery. Call the York Region Police, because that is straight robbery. Seedhouse on the doorstep. Let's have another look. Wow, Maschmeyer flashing the leather.
And she makes it look so easy too, right?
Yeah.
Seedhouse, really wants a goal this shift tonight twice. We'll see what happens on the third go.
Maybe it'll be third time's a charm for Seedhouse. This is her third game of the season for the Thunder. Yet to pick up a point this season, but if she continues to get chances like that, one's going to come sooner than later. Here comes Ann-Sophie Bate breaking in. She's got Amard with her. Makes the pass right back to Bate. And Howe stays with her to make the save. Ann-Sophie Bate got the game tying goal earlier in this period. Nearly had the go-ahead goal. But Howe makes another great save.
2-2 tie, and both squads want the W here tonight. Montreal would love to walk out with the W heading into tomorrow's action with the Toronto Furies.
That shot from the point blocked by the skate of Richards. Second chance, and Richards blocks that one as well. Puck off the side of the net. And now over the glass out of play. The faceoff will come outside of the Thunder zone with just under 13 minutes to play.
So I'm curious tomorrow if Lake Canadiens are a Montreal, because I think they're actually going to come out pretty strong tomorrow, especially if they can get the W here tonight. I've been talking a lot about they're playing against a fresh team, but I really do think they're going to be hot off the presses tonight, because certainly the momentum is carried forward from the second half of that last second period to now. So we'll see what happens.
Totino feeds it back in front for Clement Hedra. Maybe a little too cute there, Montreal. Just needed to get a shot away. Poudrier tries to feed it through. That one's broken up by McIntosh, and she springs Rattray. Great back check by Poudrier to break that up. Otherwise, Rattray could have been one-on-one. Lafort, she's forced to turn back the other way inside her own zone. Now comes up with it, Sarah Lafort. She's checked closely, gets around one defender, tries to poke it past Hartwick, and Lafort gets dropped. She'll draw a penalty there as Howe makes the save. Tough call against Markham. I thought that was good defense there by Hartwick, but the back official ends up calling the penalty here on the follow-through, and that'll be a big power play opportunity coming up for Montreal. 0 for 4 with the power play. But Ben, we saw them capitalize here in the third period, moments after an unsuccessful power play.
Yes, we did. Jessica Hardwick going off 2 minutes for a body check, and I have to agree with you, Nico. I thought it was just her standing her ground and playing some solid defense, edging the man out, but both officials had their arms up, so when there's a consensus between the two, typically that's a good thing from an official's point of view.
Chartrand with the one-timer, loose puck sitting in the blue paint, and it just squeaks wide of the near post. The Thunder desperately flip it down the ice, and 3 of the 4 penalty killers get a change here for Markham. Well, Montreal mounting all sorts of pressure, and Ben, no surprise to see the catalyst for the offense, number 24, Ann-Sophie Bataille. That puck bouncing along the boards into the Montreal zone. It'll be Kayla Totino leading things here for Les Canadiennes. She nearly has her pocket picked by Jamie Lee Rattray, and then Totino showing, well, I think she got her stick up a little high on me, holding her grill there, but no call. Puck back at the point. Poudrier tees it up with traffic in front, and that missed the far post by just inches. Alamos back to Poudrier. Near side now to Lefort. She's checked closely, back to the point for Poudrier. She tees it up. Gutsy block there from Grigg, but she can't clear the puck. Lefort had it taken away from her. Grigg tries to clear it. Still nothing doing. Lefort, 37 seconds left on the power play for Montreal. Poudrier near side now to Amard. Back to the point for Lefort. She tees it up, and that was tipped, redirected by DeRoche just wide of the net. Might have had a chance to go straight in if it wasn't directed or redirected. Back to the point. Poudrier thought about the shot, makes the pass. Alamos, big rebound after the pad save. Howe makes a good second stop. And again, lots of niceties after the play. Teams getting up in each other's space. I don't think any penalties to come out of this scrum. But Skeets was dumped, and actually we will have a Canadian player penalized. It's going to be Amard heading to the box. So that'll do it for the power play. 14 seconds left as we get another look at those chances there for Les Canadiennes.
Yeah, and you see that scrum ensue right after the whistle. A bit of a headshot there almost. But here we see, right? Yeah, and that's what's going to catch her. Can't see who that Markham player was, but nonetheless, she'll get them both, the officials. So it'll be 5-on-5 hockey, probably 2 minutes each for roughing after the whistle. And that for Markham looks to be Jessica Hardwick inside the box.
Yeah, good eye. I didn't see them grab Hardwick there late as Moran receives the puck across the blue line, and the official runs a little bit of interference against.
You'll have to forgive me, actually. It was not coincidental. Hardwick was actually in the box before that. I thought that penalty had expired at that time, but apparently not. So, nonetheless, Nico, you were actually right.
Something I don't hear very often, so let's clip that, please. I was right. We have it on tape.
Congratulations.
Buck 25 left in the Markham power play. It's a 2-2 game right now between the Markham Thunder and the Canadiennes de Montréal. You're watching on CWHL Live. Kristen Richards makes the pass down low. Behind the net, Rattray unable to feed it back in front. And now Ann-Sophie Bataille will clear it down the length of the ice with 1:05 left here in the power play. So Montreal 0 for 5 with the power play here tonight. Markham currently on their 4th power play opportunity of this game. Puck fed in for Jamie Lee Rattray in the near corner. She couldn't corral it under defensive pressure, so it's cleared down the ice with under 45 seconds remaining in the power play and 9:05 remaining in the third period of play. McIntosh receives the pass. And just as quickly it's taken away from her. Peroff ends up being dumped way behind the play, and I think she's got cause for grief there, slamming her stick against the boards heading to the bench. She was dumped twice in the same sequence, and neither of those infractions drew a call. So 10 seconds left here for Markham on the advantage. The smooth skating Skeets brings it into the zone. Tries to get around Brohl. Bouncing puck knocked down by Skeets. It's behind the net. Urban has it. Back out on the ice is Amard. So Markham unable to capitalize on that power play. We're back to 5-a-side hockey. Chartrand makes the pass Levine shot right on. Good glove save there by Howe. And she'll hold that for a face-off with 8:11 left in the third.
Yeah, simple stuff for Erica Howe. Just gloves it right down, makes the save. You know, at this time, with 8 minutes to go, tied at 2s, you know, the officials most likely, more often than not, will default to calling 2 penalties and 2 penalties only. Murder and attempted murder. And so I don't know if the players, despite their best efforts to draw some penalties, will be seeing it this late in the game, but nonetheless, you never know.
Here comes Rattray picking up the loose puck. She's got room to skate, tries to dance around the defenders, but what a back-checking effort by Noemi Maren to stay all over the backside of Rattray and really made that a difficult chance there for Markham's best offensively gifted player. Barbera tries to get to that loose puck as Peroff comes off the bench, and it's Montreal who have it now at center. Poudrier has it poked away from her. Team's changing directly below us. It's Noseworthy who comes up with it. She has her pocket picked by Montgomery, and now Poudrier once again on it for Montreal. Les Canadiennes have it stripped away from Noseworthy. It stays within Montreal's zone. Poudrier under pressure by Ronsberg. Ronsberg getting that free hand on the defender, but no call. I guess that wasn't quite attempted murder.
Apparently not.
Play continues on here as Markham tried to dig it off the half wall. Montreal come up with it. And it's in the skates of Noseworthy where it's turned over. Grigg thought about the shot, dances it around the defender, centers in front. Rolling puck just wide of the post. Nice creativity there from Lindsay Grigg and the Markham Thunder, but they're unable to capitalize. Here comes Clement Hedra. She's had a solid game for Montreal, tries to get around Woods. Oh, nice job by Clement Hedra to feather it out front, and Howe had her paddle down, ready to intercept that. Kept in at the line, good job by Brohl. Howe comes out of her net, leaves it for Grigg with 6:25 left here in the third. That pass intended for Becca King out of her reach, so it'll be an icing call here against Markham. Face off to come to the right of Howe.
And a good job there by Wood to edge out Clement Hedra, who's just coming in. Like you said, she has had a solid game tonight. The question becomes, who's going to be the hero here with 6 and 19 seconds left to go.
There's a drive from the point. Howe gets a paddle on that, deflects it up and out of play. Chartrand has been so good on that blue line for Montreal tonight, and if I were Markham, I'd be really cautious about letting her get shots away. Put a body and keep someone on her all game long at that point.
Absolutely, she holds it like it's simple, standing tall at 5'10". She's had a pretty good season, 3 goals, 5 assists, and like you said, she just holds that blue line like it's no one else's business, and I agree with you, Markham definitely needs to watch out for that in the last couple minutes of this game.
Well, they get the puck back to Chartrand. That time they get some pressure on her, so the shot off a stick into the far corner, and it'll be Urban who scoops it up now for Markham. Urban tries to lift it out, nothing doing there as it's broken up. Levine lets the shot fly, good save by Howe. Big rebound, centered out front for Levine. That's broken up, and here comes Skeets back the other way for Markham. Devin Skeets across the blue line. She's forced wide, and in doing so, she just has to relent possession of the puck. Brown digs it out, plays it back to the point for Simmons. Dania Simmons tees it up, and that one's blocked. Chartrand gets it over to Deschênes. Those two are both at the ends of their shift, so they'll peel off and get a change, but Montreal not at all happy about this icing call. They felt like they were well past center ice. And despite their efforts, that tired bunch is going to be stuck out on the ice for this faceoff.
And Montreal's not happy about that. All time should have been waved off. But the linesman saying it was not past the red line, and therefore, good for icing.
I was wondering, with just 5:14 left and a tired bunch out on the ice, if Danny Brunet was maybe thinking about the... Well, I was thinking maybe you'd use the timeout there, and he obviously opted not to. Ann-Sophie Bate, maybe that's the reason why. She quickly brings the puck up the ice.
I thought that's what he was doing. He was signaling the wave-off signal for icing, but I thought he was making the T for timeout. So
yeah.
It would have made sense, absolutely, but...
Well, and in the end, they get the changes as Chartrand now off the ice as well, so Montreal, a tense moment there, but they get the correct personnel on the ice, and they'll defend here, tied 2-2 as we approach the late moments of the third period. Ann-Sophie Bate under pressure. Noemi Morin digs the puck out. It's over to the near side where they bring it over to Amard. Amard in there all alone right now. She's got Desrochers with her. Desrochers unable to corral it. Now Clement Hadra does. Off the turnover. She shoots. She scores. No goal. Immediately waved off. It's going to be goaltender interference against Les Canadiennes, and they don't even realize it yet. Clement Hadra was still in celebration mode, as now she finally realizes this is going to be waved off. Let's get another look. Keep an eye on 76 in white, cutting across the front of the net, Amard.
Yeah,
there
that's going to be goaltender interference
no
for
question.
sure. No question about it. Erica Howe knocked down to her feet, so it's going to come back to Montreal's zone. They're, of course, not happy about it. Thought they picked up the lead in this one, but still tied at 2s, and that's just frustrating if you're Montreal, eh? Like, I mean, it's been a solid effort in this third period, and it's just an unfortunate goaltender interference in front of the net that leaves it tied at 2.
You know, I was keeping an eye down on the Montreal bench, and we've seen it in the NHL coaching staffs with tablets. The Canadian coaching staff have a tablet down there as well, and they were having a quick look at that video to see, well, maybe we can protest here to the officials. They opt to hold that argument, and they'll just have to kill the penalty off. So while Montreal thought they had a go-ahead goal, they're now shorthanded, and we're all still tied up at 2 apiece. Markham 0 for 4 with the power play so far, but they'll look to get the go-ahead goal here with the advantage. Barbera, she's checked closely by Totino. Totino does well to tie her up. Now the puck across, and with the net coming off its pegs, we'll have a whistle. 3:48 left in the third period. $1:30 left in the Markham power play.
And now with Markham on the power play, they haven't been very successful at it yet this game, but it's bound to happen sooner or later, right? So if you're Montreal, it's just dumping the puck out of the zone, creating some havoc and a little bit of pressure. Here we see Woods.
Has it at the point. Now she dumps it off to McIntosh, near side for Rattray. Rattray right back to McIntosh. Centered in front, and that's broken up. It was an intended pass for Rattray, but Poudrier broke it up, and here comes Montreal shorthanded. Ann-Sophie Bate shot, and that one didn't miss by too much. Ann-Sophie Bate being back-checked hard, and maybe unable to get a clean shot away. But Montreal effective so far on the PK here, trying to tick time off the clock. Under a minute left now on the power play for Markham. 3:05 remaining in the third period of play. If tied, we'll head to overtime, but still lots of hockey to go before that happens. As Woods brings it across the blue line. She backhands it deep into the zone where Desrochers hammers it around the boards but not out. Good job by Grigg to hold the point. Grigg pinching in from the point ends up on top of the puck, and a quick whistle will bring a stoppage to play with 2:47 left in the third.
And a pretty quick whistle there. It looked like, I believe that would have been Lindsey Grigg, like you said, right on top of that puck. And referee's not trying to waste any time. Blow the whistle immediately, and it comes outside of the zone for the face-off.
Carolina Urban to take the draw here for Markham. In there against Jordana Peroff, and the puck bounces around. It's now on the stick of Dania Simmons. She's checked closely by Clement Hadra, who thought she had the go-ahead goal moments ago, but it ends up being a penalty against her team for goaltender interference. And they're 10 seconds away from killing that penalty off, as Nicole Brown scoops it up here for Markham. Simmons makes the pass to Urban. She tips it into the zone. Hadra out of the box is Amard, so we're back to five-a-side hockey in the final moments here of the third period of play. Desrochers banks it off the end boards and tries to break out for Montreal. Makes the pass to Amard, who's got Peroff with her. Peroff receives the pass, tries to dance around the defender Grigg, but just lost possession. Noemi Morin, she's tripped up, no call. Play continues on. Behind the net, Grigg wins that battle, as there's $1:50 remaining here in the third period. Poudrier does well to bank it off the boards behind the net. And now Kristen Barbera has to leave it for her defensive partner, Grigg. There's a turnover tight to the net. Oh, what a couple of saves by Howe. The first, a glove save where it popped in and out of her glove, and then the second, she dropped her stick, and she's still without her stick, but she made the blocker save anyways. Chartron, that's the shot from the point fly. That's knocked down. I mean, if you're Montreal, forget about putting it in the air, feather one along the ice there. You got to test Howe without the stick, but they can't capitalize on that mistake. Quickly, they get the puck back into the zone. Tino lets that shot fly, and she didn't miss the top corner by much. There's a turnover. Lafort has it. Passes over to Totino. Her shot, that one's blocked by Grigg. Markham got to clear the zone. Poudrier steps in, nearly dances around Lindsey Grigg. Inside the final minute here. Centered out front for Totino, and that one just misses the top corner. Then it's across the mouth of goal with Howe diving out of her net. Totino unable to put it in. Incredible action, but Montreal can't capitalize. And here comes Rattray back the other way from Markham against a tired Chartron. Rattray, oh, she's muscled down, and no call there. We've seen a lot less called, but there Rattray got dumped. Lafort brings it in. 17 seconds left. That's a blocker save by Howe. End-to-end action here to close out the third period. Very little separating these teams. DeRoche makes the pass over to Bate. 3 seconds left. There's a shot. That's blocked. Loose puck. Where is it? Near side. Wow. Give me a second to catch my breath here. Great action at both ends of the ice, but in the end, we've got a little bonus hockey coming up. 2-2 the score after 60 minutes of play.
And that was all Montreal. That last few seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you see Kayla Totino just shake her head. She literally put her hand to her head and was like, oh my goodness, what is happening? Because she thought she for sure had it. There were about 3 really close chances. But it is still tied at 2s. And like you said, free hockey coming up.
Well, so we got some overtime action on tap here between Les Canadiennes de Montréal and the Markham Thunder. We get you set for the for overtime in just a few moments, but before we do, let's remind you to connect with the CWHL online. Follow at the CWHL on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to join the discussion today.
And this overtime period is not at all against the status quo. The last 2 games, like we were mentioning about during the first period between these two teams, October 28th, it was a 1-0 win for Les Canadiennes de Montréal, and or rather October 29th, a 3-2 win for Montreal in overtime. So of course this is not status quo at all. It will be a 1-goal game, this game for sure. The question is Montreal able to hold on to their way and streak of winning against this squad, or is it going to be Markham who comes out tonight victorious with the rest of the weekend off? It will be interesting.
Well, Markham, as you mentioned, no game tomorrow, so they'll really want to try get those points tonight if possible. Montreal back in action tomorrow, just down the 401, as they head to the MasterCard Center to take on the Furies. It's 4-on-4 overtime coming up here. The score after 3 periods of play, Montreal 2, Markham 2. We need some bonus hockey to find a winner in this one. Teams getting a much-deserved respite here, I mean, especially after that last couple minutes. My goodness. They really need a moment to catch their breath before OT.
Yeah, especially Erica Howe, eh? Like, she must, of course, always staying calm. She has that way about her of just staying calm no matter what's thrown at her. But, you know, she was probably a little jacked up from that one and needed to take just a second to breathe, and it will be 4-on-4 puck here for the next couple minutes, and then for about 20 seconds till overtime action. This will be fun, eh?
Oh, what a way to end. I mean, such a great game. It's almost fitting that we're going to OT here. As it'll be Laura McIntosh who opened up the scoring in this game. It seems like ages ago, that first period goal on a breakaway. as she steps in to take the draw against Noemi Marin.
As you hear the fans screaming, "Let's go Thunder," and very passionate fan base. A couple of girls teams out tonight, which is, always fantastic to see what this league is all about, building leaders, building dreams, and overtime's underway, Nico.
Yeah, we're underway here in OT. It's Les Canadiennes de Montréal bringing the puck down into the Markham zone to our right. Noemi Marin gets it over to Ann-Sophie Bate. She's in the near corner. 5 minutes of 4-on-4 OT, and if we're still tied, we'll head to a shootout. But lots of hockey before we get to that point as Dania Simmons scoops this one up. Plays it over to Barbera. Kristen Barbera scored the second goal in this game for the Thunder. At the time, it made it 2-0. Montreal answering back with a couple of unanswered goals to get us to this point, 2-2 in OT. Poudrier will have to start up from inside her own zone here. Poudrier under pressure, nearly gave it up in front of her own net. Here comes Amard, makes the pass to Clement Hedra. She cuts wide, tries to go back in front, still has the puck on her stick. Feeds it now over to Sophie Bro at the far side point. Bro, her shot blocked, out to the point for Chartrand. She drops it for Clement Hedra. Cuts in, tries to find herself a shooting lane, lets it fly, good blocker save. Sharp angle shot on the rebound, and Howe makes easy work out of that. 3:38 left in OT.
Good job by Clement Hedra. Work that puck into the open slots, but Erica Howe, how about her effort tonight, like we just been stating over and over again? So calm, so collected, so stable inside of that net, makes it look incredibly easy. Definitely on top of her game tonight. We were saying right from the beginning, it's a battle of the goaltenders here tonight, and Erica Howe and also Emerson Massmar have certainly been holding up their end of the bargain.
Rattray wants the pass. Richards can't get it to her. Simmons there defensively. Lafort brings it across the blue line for Montreal. Drops it for Bate. Great work there by Rattray. She was all over Bate and snuffed out what could have been a menacing attack. Lafort overskates that puck. She's got Richards back checking her, and it'll be Lafort who comes up with it. Brings it across the blue line. 3 minutes remaining here in OT. Gets the pass over to Poudrier. Puck taken away from Cassandra Poudrier. It's Laura McIntosh who has it stripped away from her. Poudrier in all alone. Taken down there. Great back-checking effort by Woods. Howe ended up going for a bit of a swim as well. No calls either way. Play continues on. Lots of physical play off the puck. Totino doing a good job digging away for it. Comes up with it. Tried to get it to Poudrier, but that's knocked away, and puck pinned up along the near boards. Totino. That's snatched up now by Brown. Brown's cross-ice pass picked off. Shot ended up being a pass. Either way, it never got through. Clement Hedra makes it back to the point. Chartrand, near side to Clement Hedra. Far side, that one intended for Desrochers, but it's picked off by her numerical counterpart, Brown, and that puts an end to that attack for Montreal. Well, Montreal certainly with the majority of play here in OT, but few chances to actually come from the possession. And here comes Jamie Lee Rattray. It's just her and Sophie Brohl. Rattray tries to make a move around Brohl, but nothing doing there, says the defenseman. Bate tries to get around Dania Simmons. Nothing on the first time. Then Rattray backs her defender up. Rattray hammers it around the near boards and gets it out of the zone. Amard holds the line. Gets around Rattray with a $1.25 left in OT. And Sophie Bate, the newly appointed captain for Montreal. She's checked closely. Amard ensues a big hit. Oh, Bate fans on the first shot, and then the second one cleared off the line by Barbera. I mean, that was going for the back of the net, and Kristen Barbera clears it off the line.
Right at the last second, too. If she'd been a second there later, we'd be looking at Montreal celebrating a goal right now, but phenomenal job to get it outside of that crease.
Absolutely incredible effort. As Markham hanging on for dear life here, 47 seconds left. Oh, Montreal nearly turnovered inside their own zone, but here comes Lafort. It's a 2-on-1. Lafort and Morin center it in front. Oh, what a... Erica Howe comes up with a save of the game with 35 seconds left in OT, stonewalling Noemi Morin on the doorstep. Ben, let's get another look at this game-saving stop from Erica Howe.
Here's Morin, but Erica Howe, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. Right on top of that one. She knew exactly where that was going to be, stood right on top of it. Keeps her team in this one.
Chartrand, her shot from the point blocked and banked off the boards. Richards won't be able to get to that loose puck. Chartrand has it with 23 seconds left here. Markham just trying to get to shootout at this point as Montreal has had the majority of chances here in OT. Well, Barbera, who made that great defensive play moments ago, now trying to create some offense for Markham, but that's quickly snuffed out. Barbera gets around the diving Totino. Players battling for the puck directly below us. The buzzer sounds, so we are heading to a shootout despite some incredible efforts on the ice.
And like you said, it's incredible back and forth. Erica Howe, give her at least, put that on the highlight reel. That save right there towards the end against Noemi Morin. But phenomenal job by both squads. Montreal, of course, applying a lot of pressure. Erica Howe standing strong inside the net. Jamie Lee Rattray looked to get a good opportunity towards the midpoint of that overtime period. But ultimately, it will go to a shootout, and a team will win this one.
So the referees want the captains to come out as they'll determine who shoots first here in the shootout. We get a look at Erica Howe and Liz Knox, one of the best goaltending duos in the CWHL. They share a quick word. And Knoxy maybe giving an inside scouting report here to Howie. We'll see if it pays dividends for the Thunder, as both teams have secured a single point here in this game. The question is now who goes home with the extra. Well, really a tremendous contest here tonight. Little separating either of these teams. Evident as we're here in a shootout. They do the coin toss down at ice level, and it looks like Markham won the toss as they allowed Richards the choice. And my French is pretty rusty, so I'm not going to try translate what Ann-Sophie Bate said, but based on the fact she's talking to her goaltender Mashmeyer, I would think Markham will likely shoot first. "60 minutes plus 5 overtime minutes in the book. And it's a 2-2 game here between the Markham Thunder and the Canadiennes de Montréal. It actually looks, like Markham will indeed shoot first. Laura McIntosh getting set to take the first attempt in this shootout. McIntosh scoring the opening goal of this game on a breakaway way back in the first period. It was followed up by a goal from Kristen Barbera, and then Montreal, with a couple of unanswered goals on their own, scored first by Noemi Morin and the second by Ann-Sophie Bate. So here we go in the shootout. Laura McIntosh starting it up for the Markham Thunder. She takes it in, hits the hash marks in there against Mashmeyer, and Mashmeyer makes the glove save. So the Thunder 0 for 1. And a good save there from Emerence Mashmeyer. Clement Hadra thought she had the go-ahead goal in the third period. It was waved off because of goaltender interference, but here she'll have a chance in the shootout. One goal, 4 points through 7 games. Katia Clement Hadra brings the puck in for Montreal. Top of the circles, makes the move. Oh, she can't tuck it by the right pad of Erica Howe. How does she do it? Another 10-bell save from Erica Howe. Clement Hadra Just inches away from tucking that one past Howie. But what a save from the Markham goaltender. The leading scorer for the Markham Thunder. 2 points here tonight. Jamie Lee Rattray brings the puck in on the shootout. Stops. Big save by Maschmeyer. Rattray unable to open up the 5-hole. So no goals for either team in this shootout thus far. Markham 0 for 2. Montreal 0 for 1. But they send out their captain here for this second attempt as Ann-Sophie Bate scored the game-tying goal. And now she's got a shootout chance to put her team ahead. Bate brings it in tight. Off the post and in. What a beauty! Ann-Sophie Bate. And it's 1-0 for Montreal in the shootout. So it all comes down to this for Markham. As we get a look at that goal from Bate. What a beauty. No chance for Howe on that one. She wraps it off the post and in. Kristen Barbera with the game on her stick here for Markham. Brings it across the blue line. Hits the hash marks. Makes the move. Oh, just loses the handle and can't tuck it past Maschmeyer. And Montreal fight all the way back from a 2-0 deficit to win 3-2 in the shootout. A gutsy performance from both teams. A valiant effort by the Markham Thunder. As we get a look at that last shootout attempt by Kristen Barbera. She had Maschmeyer beat, but you can see she just couldn't corral it to her backhand to tuck it in the open net. And Montreal fortuitous to escape the Thornhill Community Center tonight with a 3-2 win in the shootout. So for the third time in 3 games between these two teams, it's a 1-goal game with Montreal gaining the slight edge. A big 2 points for Les Canadiennes to bank in the standings. Markham pick up the single point. And they'll have to bounce back next week when they're back in action. They're off tomorrow as Montreal heads to Toronto to take on the Furies tomorrow afternoon. I'll make sure you stay tuned. We've got Ben Smith standing by ringside down at ice level, and we'll get a post-game interview with him. We've also got the Tim Hortons 3 stars of the game coming up here as the traveling fans of Les Canadiennes see their team win a 3-2 contest in the shootout over the Markham Thunder. The Thunder salute the home crowd and will skate off to a tough loss here tonight in the shootout, but both of these teams should keep their heads high and be proud of the effort here tonight. I want to remind you we're back on the air next week. Make sure you check out the CWHL.com/watch for the full streaming schedule. But we'll be back in action next Saturday, December 9th, as Ben Smith getting set to be joined by, I think he's going to get Ann-Sophie Bate. We'll keep an eye here. Of course, Bate having quite the game for Montreal, the newly appointed captain, scoring the game-tying goal, scoring the shootout winner, and securing first star status in this game. Quite the contest for Les Canadiennes and Ann-Sophie Bate. We get a look at Bate right there. She is one of the stars of this game, first star of the game. Her teammate and goaltender, Emerence Maschmeyer, will also be named one of the stars of this contest. A tremendous performance from both of them. Again, the scoring summary in this one. The Markham Thunder had a 2-0 lead as they got staked out to that lead by a breakaway goal by Laura McIntosh, which was then doubled up by Kristen Barbera. Jamie Lee Rattray assisting on both of those goals. 3 stars, Laura McIntosh, your third star of the game here for the Markham Thunder. Montreal then answered back with 2 unanswered goals of their own. First from Noemi Marin as Emerence Maschmeyer named second star of this game. And then Ann-Sophie Bate knocking one out of midair to tie this game up, and then scoring the game-winning goal in the shootout and being named first star of this game here tonight, Ann-Sophie Bate. And she'll be joining Ben Smith down at ice level in just a few moments as your 3 stars presented by Tim Hortons. I'll take this opportunity to remind you that you can connect with us on social media. Follow at the CWHL on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and join the discussion. You can connect with some of your favorite players like Ann-Sophie Bate and Les Canadiennes de Montréal, who skate off to a 3-2 victory here tonight in the shootout. Couple of young fans waiting for Enso to give away the first star of the game stick, and now she'll head over and join Ben Smith at ice level for a quick post-game interview. Well, again, we want to congratulate Ann-Sophie Bate and Les Canadiennes de Montréal. A gutsy performance. They win this one by a final score of 3-2 in the shootout. And we're going to throw it down at ice level to Ben Smith and tonight's first star with the game-winning goal in the shootout, Ann-Sophie Bate.
Thanks so much, Nico. Yes, Les Canadiennes de Montréal taking the win in this one, joining alongside newly minted captain Ann-Sophie Bate. You got a goal tonight, and your squad came back to win this one. What was the key to success here tonight?
I mean, we haven't played in a long time, and I think it was just to keep things simple. And at the beginning of the first period, we were struggling a little bit, but as the game went on, we were better and better. Execution was better. We had a lot of missing chances, but we had to keep things simple and put pucks in the net, and that's what we did.
Let's talk about goaltenders here tonight. On one side, Emma Smashmeyer played a phenomenal game. On the other one, Erica Howe also did. How tough was it to crack her code here tonight?
It was pretty hard. It was a very low scoring game, and that's what women's hockey is all about now. I mean, the level of hockey is getting better and better, and I mean, you can't get any better in the league than these two players. So it was very competitive, and I mean, we were lucky to put more pucks behind Howe, and Mash did a good job in their backhand.
I want to bring you back to last week when you got the news that you would be the 4th captain in franchise history. What did that mean to you to be voted by your teammates the captain of this franchise?
I mean, it's pretty special. I didn't expect to be captain, so definitely when you don't have any expectation, it's very rewarding, and especially coming from the girls. So it means a lot to me, and then hopefully that I'll be able to lead by example and be able to carry the team like the other captains did in the past.
Tomorrow, it's against the Toronto Furies, a well-rested Toronto club. What's going to be the key to success tomorrow?
Again, keep the shift short. We had a game today, and then short turnover. We haven't played them this far this season, so it'll be to keep things simple and then start to know the other team because we haven't played them yet.
And thanks for this.
Thank you.
Nico.
Well, thank you very much, Ben, and thank you, Ann-Sophie Bate. We appreciate your time and congratulate you on tonight's victory. That's the game. Les Canadiennes de Montréal take this one by a 3-2 score in the shootout over the Markham Thunder. A big thank you to Ann-Sophie Bate. A big thanks to Ben Smith. A big thank you to Steve Mitchell for leading our technical crew behind the scenes. And, of course, to all of you at home for tuning in. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week, December, Saturday, December 9th, for more CWHL live action. I'm Nico Cardarelli. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight's stream was brought to you by Hilberg and Burke. Check out the live stream schedule by visiting thecwhl.com.